Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, your New England Subaru dealers, Foxwoods Resort Casino, Molson, and by your New England Toyota dealers. Well, it is Red Sox and the Yankees. Here we go again from Yankee Stadium for the first time in 2007. The Yankees have taken the field as we check out the Red Sox starting lineup, brought to you by New England Dodge dealers. Julio Lugo leads it off at shortstop with Kevin Youkilis at first base. Big Papi David Ortiz, a designated hitter. Manny Ramirez in left field. J.D. Drew in right field. Mike Lowell at third base. Jason Varitek, the captain, does the catching. Coco Crisp back in there tonight for the Red Sox in center field, batting eighth. Dustin Pedroia bats ninth on second base. The starting pitchers are brought to you by Panasonic, and on the mound tonight for New York is Andy Pettitte.
This will be the fifth start of the season, the seventh appearance for Andy Pettitte. 1-0, that win coming against the Minnesota Twins. Of course, last week against the Red Sox, pitched very well. 6 1/3 innings, 8 hits allowed, and a couple of earned runs. When he left that ball game, it was a 5-2 score, but the Red Sox won it 7-6. He also pitched in relief in that series. The pitching was so devastated at Fenway Park that Pettitte came in for an inning on the 22nd. Lifetime against the Red Sox, 13-5. That's in 22 starts. The Yankee defense is brought to you by New England Ford dealers. They're 12th in the league with 17 errors in 20 games. Alex Rodriguez at third base, Derek Jeter the shortstop, Robinson Cano at second, and Doug Mencavich at first. Left to right, Hideki Matsui, Johnny Damon, and Bobby Abreu, and Jorge Posada back behind the plate for Andy Pettitte.
Umpiring crew, Brian Runge has a plate tonight for the men in black tonight. Bruce Fremming at first base, Rob Drake at second, and Mike Winters, the umpire, at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Andy Pettitte ready to work with the game's first pitch. And Julio Lugo takes strike one. Lugo starts tonight hitting at .234, no homers and 5 runs batted in. Another strike, this time on the outside corner.
Two different types of fastballs from Pettitte. The straight fastball, the cut fastball, which is his best pitch. Curveball and a changeup.
Lugo chops it towards Jeter, charging. The throw off balance and in time. Dug out at first base by Mencavich.
That didn't take very long for Andy Pettitte. Gets ahead of Julio Lugo, goes to the cut fastball, and gets the ground ball to shortstop in Derek Jeter. Jeter playing it with both the glove and the hand. The throw's a little bit off, but Mencavich, as we know, a very good defensive first baseman, makes the play for him.
One down for Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis taking ball one from Pettitte, as Youkilis 5 for his last 12 of the last 3 games. Overall hitting at .274 with a home run and 5 runs batted in. Against lefties, he's hit at just .188 so far this season. As he starts off ahead of Pettitte now, 2-0. Red Sox are 14-7 and have the best winning percentage in the major leagues. They start the night at .667. They've increased their lead in the American League East to 3 games with yesterday's victory over the Baltimore Orioles. The largest advantage since the 3.5-game lead in July of last season. And the earliest lead the Red Sox have had since 1995. After the very good start. Ball 3, and it's 3-1 now to Youkilis.
Well, about 12 o'clock this afternoon. I didn't think we'd be playing this game tonight. It was really raining hard in New York City, but it had stopped, and just kind of a dank night here at the stadium.
Runs it inside, ball 4, and Youkilis down to first base with a 1-out walk. The Red Sox have the first base runner of the night. There's a look at that raw evening, and right now it's just overcast, thankfully. It is on the cool side, and there is a chance for further precipitation tonight. But it was raining very hard throughout the day here in New York, and teams were able to take batting practice on the field. Didn't look like they were going to be able to. But The rain finally stopped. They were able to take batting practice and prepare normally on the field. Ortiz at 287, 6 homers and 19 runs batted in.
We mentioned it last week in Boston when Pettitte was pitching, and we'll mention it again tonight. You have to be very careful at first base because Pettitte has one of the best pickoff moves in all of baseball.
The strike, and it's 0-2 to Big Papi. Andy Pettitte in his second stint with the New York Yankees. First time in between spent in Houston. Ortiz with pretty good numbers against the lefty. A ball and 2 strikes now to Big Papi.
It's very strange, but it's it's only April, but there is a sense of urgency here in the Bronx with the Yankees. Not playing good baseball, not getting good pitching.
Well, the Yankees have lost 6 in a row. They were shut out for the first time this season yesterday against Toronto. Ortiz swings and misses and strikes out. The first K of the game for Andy Pettitte.
Once again, it looks like the cut fastball from Andy Pettitte to pick up the strikeout. Andy Pettitte has made a career on that pitch.
2 away, and it brings up Manning. Manny 1 for his last 16, and batting still under 200 at 192. Seems so strange to see that batting average. 2 homers and 11 runs batted in. Started all 22 games now in left field for the Red Sox so far this season. Has not had a day off. Well, the Yankees having lost 6 games in a row coming into this series. Losing last night in the major league debut of their young 20-year-old Philip Hughes, who started here last night. Did not pitch terribly, but a 6-0 win for Toronto. And it's been a tough go of it for Joe Torre. As we mentioned off the top, I think their starting rotation was a bit questionable coming into the season, but you take away a couple of those guys and it is less than questionable. It's not been good. And questions about where Kagawa will end up and whether or not he'll end up back in the minor league soon. One of the guys that they brought on as a big free agent signing during the offseason, who has been less than effective and for the moment has been taken out of the rotation by Joe Torre. There's Kagawa. I think he's paying much less than what the Red Sox had to pay for Daisuke, but so far the results have been much less as well. The strike, and it's 3-1 now to Manning. J.D. Drew waiting on deck. With 2 outs here in the top half of the first inning. Center field in for a hit. Youkilis up to second base on the single for Manny Ramirez, who had been just 1 for his last 16, but's got a base hit to begin the night.
Yeah, but he's been swinging the bat much better over the last 2-3 games. He got robbed of a home run in Baltimore, and of course one way to get hot is against a guy that you've had great success against, and of course Manny has had tremendous success against Andy Pettitte. Takes the 3-1 fastball, shoots it up the middle for the base hit.
So a chance here for the Red Sox in the first inning. Runners at first and second, and J.D. Drew. 314, 2 homers, and 8 runs batted in for Drew. Swing and a miss as Posada was coming out of the crouch to grab that one. The key matchup is brought to you by Killian's, and for J.D. Drew, 6 for 11 against Andy Pettitte. Was having the chance to face him over the last couple of years as Pettitte pitching for the Houston Astros. Pettitte last year 14-13 with a 4.20 ERA. in 36 appearances last year for the Astros. One hopper knocked down the chest of Mencavich. He retires Drew, and the Red Sox are gone. They strand a pair. Yankees coming up, and Daisuke will take the hill for the first time at Yankee Stadium.
Don't worry about those guys.
I am just so sick of this.
Dude, what do you expect? You went with Geico.com. What, to save some money?
It's my life, okay?
Just a little loyalty would be nice, that's all.
What? Having Geico makes me less of a caveman?
Tina's here, we're getting back together. Hey,
Give us a minute.
Geico.com. So easy, a caveman can do it.
What are you surfing for?
Bill and I owe the IRS $40,000. We need help.
My brother used American tax relief.
Why them?
He heard they settled a $3 million IRS case for only $3,000. That was good enough for him.
That's good enough for me. If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call us. There's nothing to lose, your consultation is free, and you have no obligation.
Once we hired American Tax Relief, the IRS stopped contacting us. That was an immediate relief.
And they settled our tax debt for a fraction of what we owed. That was a big relief.
We've helped thousands of Americans settle their tax debt for a fraction of what they owed. If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, we can help you settle for less, maybe a lot less. And when it comes to paying back taxes, less is definitely more.
Call 800-431-5542 for your free consultation. Call 800-431-5542 now and settle for less.
Stay in the game with an hour of post-game coverage on NESN. It's your post-game all-access pass with WB Mason's Extra Innings and Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra.
Olympia Sports is your majestic headquarters, featuring a new thermobase technology that insulates while maintaining temperature control. Get it at Olympia Sports. Shop with confidence, satisfaction guaranteed.
Red Sox Yankees coverage on NESN is brought to you by Hess and Hess Express. The Red Sox don't score on the top of the first inning. Panasonic brings you starting pitcher tonight for the Red Sox. It's Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Start number 5 for Daisuke, 2-2 on the season, 31 strikeouts in 27 innings at 25 hits allowed. Opponents hitting .248 against Matsuzaka. You see the game Sunday where he did pick up the win against the Yankees, but that's the most runs and hits he's given up in a game so far this season.
Inside to Johnny Damon for ball 1.
And for our friends back in Japan, Nippon no Minisama, Ohio gozaimasu. And I hope that means everybody in Japan good morning.
Johnny's settling himself in here as Daisuke settles himself in on the Yankee Stadium mound for the very first time. Damon sends it foul, and it's 1-1. Johnny 0 for 3 in last night's loss to Toronto. He has just 2 hits in his last 21 at bats. We had a chance to visit with him on the way into the ballpark today, arriving at the same time.
Yeah, I got one of those man hugs that I didn't know how to handle.
I thought you handled it very well. You went right first, which is always the way to go. Waves at that pitch, fooled, and it's 1-2.
Change up from Matsuzaka to quickly get ahead of Damon, 1-2. We've seen more change-ups from Daisuke than we have split-fingered fastballs. That's the gyro ball there. That tumbling effect on the changeup.
Strike 3 call. Damon is rung up as he looks back at Brian Runge.
Daisuke had 7 strikeouts last time he faced the Yankees. It's a cut fastball from Matsuzaka. Damon thought it was inside and low, and he may have had a beat.
Might have been both. So 1 down, and it brings up Derek Jeter. Jeter at .316 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. Hit safely in 14 straight games and 17 of the last 18 games to begin the season. Derek Jeter able to homer off Daisuke Matsuzaka on Sunday in the final game of the series, and the sweep for the Red Sox. To mention, Daisuke was touched for a total of 6 runs in that outing over 7 innings. But Jerry, I think you'll agree, the most formidable and maybe the strongest lineup he'll face all year.
Yeah, and it's better tonight because it has Posada and Matsui in it.
So left center field in for a hit. Over is Crisp. And Jeter extends the hitting streak now to 15 straight games. Let's check out the rest of the New York lineup, brought to you by Rico. Bobby Abreu in right field. Alex Rodriguez at third base. Jason Giambi, the designated hitter. Hideki Matsui back in there for New York. In left, Jorge Posada doing the catching. Robinson Cano at second base, and Doug Mencavich at first. Bats ninth.
Well, a slider from Daisuke Matsuzaka right out over the plate, and Derek Jeter picks up the base hit up the middle. So Jeter has now faced him 4 times. He has 2 hits, including the home run.
Bobby Abreu, the batter. Abreu hitting at .278 so far in the season, with a home run and 13 runs batted in.
Much has been made how Matsuzaka is not as good out of the stretch position. Most pitchers are not as good as they are out of the windup. Because sometimes out of the stretch he takes a little bit off the fastball. He does not have the deception of the windup where he kind of hesitates and can throw some hitters off with that.
Abreu taking the strike, and it's 1-2. Last year he led all major leaguers with 124 base on balls. He's now reached the 100 walk plateau in 8 consecutive seasons, beginning in 1999. Count of 1-2 to Abreu. Waves at that pitch, completely fooled, and he strikes out. 2 Ks in the inning so far for Daisuke.
Now that looks like the changeup again from Matsuzaka. He's thrown a couple of dandies in this game so far. It's a very strange changeup because it's directly over the top, and he kind of turns his wrist over, which makes that ball tumble down and away from the left-handed hitter.
Two down for Alex Rodriguez, and what a start it has been for A-Rod. 378, 14 homers, 34 runs batted in as he dribbles one down the third baseline. Lowell barehands and throws. In time, they got him. Nice play by Mike Lowell to get A-Rod. Done with 1, no score from the stadium.
You are our neighbors. You teach. You cheer. You sacrifice. You help those around you. You love your little corner of the world. Here at Extra Mart, we are proud to serve you, and we thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
Visit the new extramart.com and sign up for the Extra Email Club and have a chance to win a PlayStation 3. Club members are the first to learn about great context, incredible sales, receive coupons, and more. Go to extramart.com today.
Before I started taking H57 Hoodia, I didn't want anyone taking my pictures, not even at family functions. Now look at me. In just 16 weeks, I lost over 35 pounds with H57 Hoodia. Now, not only do I look like a model, I am a model. Look for my ad in Cosmopolitan magazine.
That's right. It worked for Kathy, and it can work for you too. And you can become the next H57 national model.
To find out how, just call 800-796-8093. And for a limited time, you can try H57 Hoodia free. No obligation. Call 800-796-8093 to find out how to get your original South African H57 Hoodia absolutely free. Call 800-796-8093. H57 Hoodia is available at these fine retailers.
5:30 is the new prime prime time on NESN. Every home game Friday with Friday Night Family, presented by Team Sully Mac. And every game day Monday with Red Sox Monster Monday. 2 5:30 free pregame shows, supersizing your Sox weekend.
Second inning, Mike Lowell leading it off for the Red Sox. Lowell, Pettitte, and Crisp. In a scoreless game, both teams with a hit so far through one.
A great defensive play by Mike Lowell. See how deep he's playing with that Rodriguez at the plate. He barehands the ball that's rolling pretty hard and just gets him at first base. Nice stretch by Youkilis.
He's ahead 2-0. As he chops one left side. Tough out for Jeter, but he picks it off the lip of the grass and throws out Lowell. Let's check in for the first time tonight with Tina Cervasio.
Don, through Daisuke Matsuzaka's 4 starts already this season, he continues making adjustments on the mound as he continues learning about Major League lineups. Now, Jerry, you were talking about Matsuzaka pitching out of the stretch. Here's what pitching coach John Farrell has to say.
The one thing that he's had to contend with a little bit more is the balancing of controlling the running game and still yet commanding the strike zone. The one thing that we've seen is he has a tendency to try to speed up a little bit too quick. And I think in situations where he doesn't have to be as quick unloading the ball to home plate. And it's caused him quite a bit of mislocation.
So while Matsuzaka continues tweaking some things, there's one thing that really the Red Sox don't want to change, and that is his workout ethic. Farrell says he's so impressed how diligent Matsuzaka is with his off-day workouts and how much he throws in between starts. What the Red Sox are realizing through all of this, there's really no right or wrong way.
No, I think one of the concerns, Jerry, as we talked about it before, is perhaps that the difference between the 5-day rotation, the 6-day rotation, is that perhaps when you get towards the end of the season, he may be a little bit more tired, I think was the fear.
Well, he's so used to that routine. I think the Red Sox, in particular, John Farrell, Terry Francona, Theo Epstein, don't want to mess with it. I mean, they want to let him, do what he's been doing. It's interesting today, for the first time, he has a personal masseuse that he travels with at all times. And this clubhouse is so small, I had a chance to, I was actually just walking by, and he was getting his massage. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you went out to get a massage, that massage would cost you $1,000. He was on that table for about 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Jason Varitek taking the strike, and then it's a full count. Well, I know you travel everywhere you go, the personal masseuse also.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the niceness and perks that we've been able to gather over the years.
Coco Crisp back in the Red Sox lineup tonight. The 3-2 pitch. Hits it back of first, foul ground. Mencavich over by the stands, but he won't have a play. And as far as he could, and it's back 4 or 5 rows.
This is kind of fun, our first game back at Yankee Stadium, 2007 season. It's early, but it's always fun.
Well, the late arriving crowd, but they have settled in this Friday afternoon traffic in New York. And everybody getting ready for this first of 3. As it's grounded foul over by the Red Sox dugout.
Plus the new Yankee Stadium going up just across the street from this place, and it's going to be almost an exact replica of this stadium, but of course all new amenities surrounding the ballpark. They decided to stay in the Bronx.
I'm glad they're keeping it the same. This
I am too.
Really special place.
That's right. There's something special about places like this in Fenway Park, and you're going to build a new one, build it exactly the same with all the new stuff.
Varitek strikes out. Second strikeout for Pettitte. 2 down.
Well, Pettitte looked sharp early, as he did at Fenway Park a week ago in his start against the Red Sox. This is just a straight fastball, it looks like, that he throws by Jason Varitek.
Varitek turns in the 8-pitch at bat, but Pettitte ends up winning the battle. 2 down here in the top of the second. Here's Coco Crisp returning to the Red Sox lineup tonight. He's been battling the oblique problem and has not started the last 5 games.
For non-winning $5 and $10 Red Sox instant tickets from the Mass Lottery into cash with every Red Sox victory in the $1 Million Double Play. Learn how to play at masslottery.com. Once you've entered, check the site after every Red Sox victory to see if you're a winner.
Oh, and 1 the count to Coco. In at third is Alex Rodriguez. As Crisp grounds it by the dive of Jeter and into left field. So Coco returns to the lineup and has got himself a base hit right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's a good thing because, you know, he was 6 for his last 12 after sitting out all those games with the oblique problem. And there was some concern that as he was starting to warm up a little bit, that those days off would hurt him. Hits that ball hard by the diving Derek Jeter and picks up the base hit. And again, Coco has to be very careful at first base with Pettitte's pickoff move.
So 2 down, Crisp at first, and here's Dustin Pedroia. Breaking ball in there for strike 1 to Pedroia. Hitting at 184 to start the night. No homers and 2 runs batted in. He was 3 for his last 11. And it evens at 1-1 to Pedroia.
One of the reasons Pettitte has had a great pickoff move, when you watch his front leg when he picks it up, he leaves it just about even with that rubber in the first base bag, and that's very difficult for a base runner to pick up, because when that leg goes behind the rubber, that's when you know you can go, because he can't go to first base, but he lets it hang out there. I mean, he can shorten a base runner's lead by a couple of steps. There's no question about that. And that's not a great move. That is certainly not his A move.
Ranked second among all active major league pitchers with 76 career pickoffs. Only behind Detroit's Kenny Rogers. The 1-1 pitch is outside. Mark Langston, #1 all time. Until it is Andy Pettitte, second most active.
And what do they all have in common, Don?
Lefties.
You got it. Greg Swindell is also on that list, and he's also left-handed. Randy Johnson, 5th. He's also left-handed.
Pedroia to right field. Bobby Abreu over a few steps will make the catch. It ends the inning. Inning and a half done from the Bronx. Scoreless.
Think you know everything about the Ford Fusion? Think again. It's time to see for yourself why the all-wheel drive Fusion beat out Camry and Accord on performance, handling, and styling. Need more? How about that Fusion was named J.D. Power's most appealing car in its class? Lease one for just $199 a month, and your first payment's on us. Only at your local Ford store.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I see. Yeah, great.
Well, she wants a KFC famous bowl. You know, layers of her favorites. Mashed potatoes, corn, chicken, gravy, and cheese, all in a bowl.
Try KFC Famous Bowls, freshly prepared with our home-style mashed potatoes, layered with sweet corn, all white meat crispy chicken, and topped with our signature gravy and 3-cheese blend. Dig into great layers of flavor with KFC Famous Bowls.
The import with a taste as big as Canada. Molson Canadian. Here's to good nature.
Have you heard about the benefits of a reverse mortgage? If you're a homeowner, 62 years or older, and would like to supplement your monthly income, a reverse mortgage could be the key to living comfortably in retirement. U.S. government-insured reverse mortgages allow seniors to convert the equity in their home into cash without having to move or make monthly loan payments. We offer a free information kit and video explaining everything you need to know about a reverse mortgage.
Call 800-300-4519.
Well, Nesson is now casting for the all-new summer reality dating series, Sox Appeal. If you think you have what it takes, come prove it at Bob's Store in Cranston, Rhode Island tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. For complete information, visit sox-appeal.com. Sox Appeal, giving blind dates a sporting chance this summer on Nesson.
Jason Giambi leads it off as we head to the bottom of the second inning. The shift on for him as he sends one down the left field line. We're back into the seats.
Well, do you notice a lot of these Yankee hitters tonight swinging at the first pitch against Matsuzaka? Yep. We saw that with Rodriguez. We see it now with Giambi.
Pretty aggressive so far tonight.
And that is usually not their style. They usually make guys throw a lot of pitches.
They shift on for Giambi with Pedroia in short right field. And Lugo on the right side of the infield, only Lowell on the left side. A strike as Giambi looks back. His player profile brought to you by Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network. 5 seasons with the Yankees. Giambi's average, his home runs and RBIs, had the one down season where he battled health problems all year long. It's been mostly good here in New York for Giambi. Too far inside, and it's 1-2.
Boy, Don, you and I almost made a major mistake coming to the ballpark. We have a car service that brings us here, which we expense. And then we almost got into Matsuzaka's limo. Boy, that would have been a big mistake.
We were definitely in the wrong car. With the shift on, Giambi goes the other way. And he's got himself a leadoff single.
Now, Giambi tardy on a fastball from Matsuzaka, but the results are good for him. That ball down and just slices it to left field for the base hit. Most guys, this would be a double as far as Manny had to go for it, but for Giambi, only the one base.
Well, look at his hits, and the reason that the shift is on for the most part, 16 of those hits going to right. 5 to left and 4 to center. But on with a base hit to left here in the second. And here is Hideki Matsui returning to the Yankees lineup this week. He's 0 for 1 with 3 walks in his last game against Toronto. And 3 games since returning from the disabled list is 2 for 7. Placed on the 15-day DL back on April 8th and was there through the 23rd with a strained left hamstring and missed 12 games. He was injured while running out a ground ball in the second inning of the win against Baltimore here at Yankee Stadium. A breaking ball in for a strike.
Perfect location with that slider as he picks up the outside corner. So the first 2 pitches to Matsui, both away.
First matchup here in the major leagues between Matsui and Daisuke. In the air to center field. And it is Crisp who will make the catch for out number 1. As back to the bag at first goes Giambi.
The Boston Marriott Copley Place, the official hotel of the Boston Red Sox, has the perfect Boston weekend getaway. It's the Grand Slam baseball package that includes 2 tickets to a Red Sox game, 2 nights accommodations and breakfast for 2. The first available Grand Slam package is for Mother's Day weekend. For reservations and information, call the Grand Slam hotline at 617-937-5600. That's a great deal.
And the last time they met in Japan, Matsui had been 0 for 3 against Matsuzaka. Did not enjoy that last outing, hoping this one would be better against him. But he's retired in the first outing.
Matsui gets a curveball from Matsuzaka, so it was fastball away, slider away, then the curveball and the fly ball to center field.
The 1-0 to Posada. Breaking ball for a strike over the outside corner.
I would think that the Daisuke Matsui matchup would be bigger in Japan than the Ichiro one. You know, the power hitter in Matsui.
I would agree. Ichiro facing him less than Matsui had the chance to in Japan, but still huge. This large gathering of Japanese media that has traveled throughout, and certainly they were kind of disappointed in the first series that Matsui is not part of that series.
You know what they were taking pictures of today?
Just about everything.
Them taking the top off and on the field.
I saw that. The center field, Crisp coming on. He'll make the catch, and back to the bag at first goes Giambi. Hung up long enough for Coco to move in quickly and secure out number 2.
Well, Posada put a pretty good charge in that. Puts it on a line. Looks like a cut fastball from Daisuke, and right directly to center field to Coco Crisp.
So 2 down, Giambi at first, and here's Robinson Cano. You know your lineup is pretty good when you have a Robinson Cano type player hitting 8th in your lineup. It's a 308 with a home run and 8 runs batted in. Shoots it foul off to the left.
Once again, another Yankee swinging at the first pitch. First pitch fastball from Daisuke. Supposed to be away. It stays inside, but Cano fouls it off. That's what John Farrell was talking about, working out of the set position, the stretch position. Sometimes by rushing, his location has been off some, and go ahead down with this.
League leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports. Cano 360 since June 1st of last year. He hit 342 last season. Moved 42, 41 doubles, had 15 homers, 78 runs batted in 122 games last year. He's already played more games at second base for the Yankees than any left-handed batter in franchise history. A lefty at first in Giambi gets the lead. On deck, Doug Mencavich with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Swing and a miss. They kept this going off on Cano, and he chases. 3rd strikeout for Daisuke. Scoreless.
Ringside at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Live hard-hitting championship boxing in the Fox Arena Saturday, April 28th. Foxwoods celebrates its 100th boxing match as Juan El Torito Diaz takes on Acelino Popo Freitas in a 12-round WBO-WBA Unification Lightweight World Championship fight. Tickets at the box office or at foxwoods.com. Foxwoods Resort Casino, just off I-95, exit 92 in the Mystic Country region of southeast Connecticut. Foxwoods 100th fight, April 28th. The action is ringside. Foxwoods Resort Casino.
When it comes to repairs, VIP always tells you up front what's wrong, when it'll be fixed, and we'll do it for less. At VIP, we shoot straight, always. We'll never leave you in the dark. Our qualified techs will tell you what your car needs and what it doesn't in plain English. Our full 1-year nationwide warranty on parts and labor means we stand behind everything we do. And we'll always let you know exactly when your repairs will be done. When you need service, head to VIP. A little love goes a long way.
This is an important announcement regarding disaster relief for all homeowners. In response to the recent wave of natural disasters, a new program is now available to protect families across the U.S. It's from the Recovery Homeowners Association, and all homeowners are urged to register. To participate, you must call now, before a disaster strikes. This program will distribute cash benefits, assist in reuniting displaced families, and help make federal and state assistance more accessible. Call to sign up and receive cash benefits of $1,000 per month for each month you are displaced from your home. This is cash you do not have to pay back. The plan will also pay up to $1,000 of your mortgage each and every month you cannot live in your home. But you must call to sign up now, before the next natural disaster strikes. Every family is in danger from a possible natural disaster. This plan could make all the difference.
Call 800-258-8300. That's 800-258-8300.
Top half of the third inning back at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox and Yankees are scoreless. Andy Pettitte back on the mound. He's thrown 36 pitches through the first 2 innings as Julio Lugo leads it off for Boston.
I would like to say hello to Basil Matacek. His son does the audio for our broadcast. Basil's a big fan of the Red Sox from Rocky Hill, Connecticut.
Ball outside from Pettitte, and it's 1-1 now to Lugo. Second time through now for Andy Pettitte through the Red Sox order. Boston able to get 2 hits against him first time through. Ramirez and Crisp both with singles. The short right, fading fast, and in for a hit. Let's check back in with Tina Cervasio.
Here is a little message for just the kids. It's time for the 4th annual Sun Wise with Shade poster contest. It's for kids all around the country. And yesterday in Baltimore, I talked to Shade Foundation founder Shonda Schilling about what she wants kids to get out of this contest.
Trying to make it a learned behavior for the kids. So I use an example of, you know, when we were younger and our parents smoked, it was to go back and agitate them to stop. And that's what these kids are doing. They're going home and they're getting ready to go out to the pool and they go, Mom, you forgot my sunblock. So they're, you know, they're big sponges at this point. And I can change the behavior. We can change the behavior of the kids. And it's just going to be something that in 20 years, they're going to say, you know, we didn't wear sunblock back then.
Kids are asked to design a sun safety themed poster, and the posters must be sent to Shade Foundation to postmark by May 10th. Kids all over the country are eligible. You can get more info at shadefoundation.org, and New England State winners will get an opportunity to meet Curt Schilling. Don?
Okay, Tina. Julio Lugo has led off the inning with a single, and Youkilis now batting with a count of 2-0. Posada heading out to talk to Pettitte. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Play Auto, Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network, and by Dunkin' Donuts. First time tonight, the Red Sox have had the lead runner on against Andy Pettitte. They do in Julio Lugo.
6 steals for Lugo has not been caught yet. Everything this inning so far from Pettitte has been up in the zone. The base hit by Lugo was on a high pitch.
That gets a new baseball from home plate umpire Brian Runge. Youkilis walking his first time up. The only walk tonight allowed by either starter. A strike, and it's now 3-1 to Youkilis.
I'd have to say, with the Yankee staff the way it is right now, I would think they have the most confidence when Andy Pettitte goes to the mound. He's pitched very well for him so far this season. Gave him a good game at Fenway last week.
He's made the most starts so far. Ron Guidry and Joe Torre. Youkilis drives one to deep left down the line, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for Kevin Youkilis, his second home run of the year. And the Red Sox strike first. They head on top 2-0.
Well, Kevin Youkilis has been hot, and he stays hot. A walk back in the first inning. Now he gets the cut fastball from Pettitte and takes it right down that left field line for his second home run of the year, the second given up by Pettitte this season.
The other home run was Jason Varitek's, as standing in is David Ortiz take a strike over the outside corner. So the Red Sox on a 2-run home run by Youkilis draw first blood on top 2-0.
One more look at the pitch to Kevin Youkilis that he hit to left field for the home run. Posada setting up inside, wants it down. It's a cut fastball, but it doesn't go down. It stays right about thigh high. And Youkilis gives the Red Sox the 2-0 lead.
Ortiz after the 0-2. Cano deep at second base, throws to first for the out.
One of the rare times you did not see the shift on David Ortiz. He had Jeter playing him to pull, but on the left side of the infield, Cano ends up making that play. That's normally in a spot where that shortstop makes the play because he's pulled over.
One down for Manning. He singled to center field his first time up. We're talking about the Yankees pitching and how many problems they've had. They've already had 3 starting pitchers make their major league debuts in the first 20 games of the season. Hayagawa, Chase Wright, Phil Hughes. The last time they had 3 starters make their debut this early in the season, you got to go back to 1955 when the St. Louis Cardinals did it in their first 13 games. It has been a tough stretch. The Yankees have used 9 different starters. And Pettitte has certainly been the most consistent so far for Joe Torre. Ball, and it's 1-2 now to Manning. Here are the numbers and the 9 different starters for New York. And the number of starts they've made, Pettitte at the top of the list with 5. And they just got Wong back.
A lot of those guys probably belong in the minor leagues. Not ready for the prime time yet.
The 50th pitch for Pettitte is slowly grounded to Jeter, off balance and dug out at first by Mencavich. 2 down.
Before the new Spider-Man swings into a theater near you, he's spinning his way into Sunday's Boston Globe. Just pick up this Sunday's Globe for a free poster of the one, the only Spider-Man. That's this Sunday, April 29th, only in the Boston Globe.
Two down for J.D. Drew. Grounded out to first base, his first time up. With all the starters and starters not pitching well for the Yankees relievers lead all the major league teams with 83 combined relief appearances through the first 20 games of the season. The Yankees are only the 2nd team in the last 19 seasons to go this far into a season without recording a save, which is truly remarkable. And off the top, as we talked about Rivera's problems, and Mike Myers has had problems of his own, giving up a grand slam to Carl Crawford and having all kinds of problems getting lefties out. And Mike Myers is here for one reason only, and that's to get lefties out.
Well, I mean, it was so bad last weekend in Boston that they had to bring Pettitte in to pitch an inning on a day that he would normally throw on the side.
He's made 2 relief appearances.
So that's, that's very rare for this time of season. And as far as Rivera goes, I mean, he has not been able to get into a groove because he's hardly pitched. The Yankees haven't been in a lot of situations to save games. Of course, he blew the one in Boston. He's blown a couple this year. But the fact is, those guys got to get out there consistently.
A drive to right for Drew, but Abreu moves over and makes the catch that ends the inning. There was a drive earlier. It was a 2-run home run for Youkilis. Boston on top 2-0.
Hi, Lisa. Honey. What's that? Oh, it's a smoothie from Dunkin' Donuts. It has low-fat yogurt, vitamin C. It's a snack you can feel good about. Oh, you're right. I do feel good. I feel so good, I don't even mind that you stole my smoothie. I feel so good, I don't even feel awkward about taking it.
Delicious Dunkin' Donuts smoothies, now in tropical fruit. America runs on Dunkin'.
Stop by Dunkin' Donuts and try the new tropical fruit smoothie in pineapple, banana, and coconut flavor.
Only Friendly's can make a burger like this, and a decadent sundae like this. Come in now and try your favorite, like our Southwestern Bacon Burger, a juicy burger with melted pepper jack, hickory smoked bacon, and our unique Chipotle sauce. Or the Chicago Firehouse Burger, topped with spicy cherry peppers and fresh red onion. Now get a free Happy Ending Sundae with any featured burger. Or try our new Coffee House Turtle Sundae for only $3.99. Friendly's, come for the food, leave room for the ice cream.
This is Table 12 at Carrabba's Italian Grill. It's where our passion for food and people comes together to make great things happen. Table 12 is where girls' night out becomes a great night out. And where sharing your linguine pescatore makes 2 years apart feel like 2 minutes ago.
When people get together over our original family recipes, good things happen around our table.
Because Geico sounds like gecko. That's it. That's the only reason I'm here. The fact is, if Geico sounded like some other animal, like, I don't know, a puma, sure enough, there'd be some adorable little cat sitting here talking about Geico's low rates.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You can't even imagine the pressure. I mean, I've literally got like 2 seconds to capture your attention while simultaneously informing you that you could save hundreds on car insurance by switching to Geico. Quite frankly, I don't think it's even possible.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car.
For the top 9 countdown of all things Red Sox during this week, don't miss Granite City Electric Ultimate Red Sox Show. Hazel May takes a look at everything Sox on and off the field. Check it out this Sunday at 5.
Last half of the 3rd inning, and it is Mencavich who leads it off against Daisuke Matsuzaka. Red Sox now on top 2-0 thanks to the 2-run shot by Youkilis. As Red Sox fans know, Mencavich known more for his glove than his bat. It's been a slow start to the season for Mencavich, hitting at 152. Does have a home run and 2 runs batted in. Signed a 1-year contract as a free agent this past January. And owns the 2nd highest lifetime fielding percentage among first basemen as he strikes out and has words for Brian Runge.
I don't know what Mencavich is arguing about there. That's a very good pitch by Matsuzaka. Let's take a look at all 4 strikeouts for Daisuke. First, it was a cut fastball of Johnny Damon. Johnny didn't like this call. Then it was a changeup to Bobby Abreu. A fastball up and out of the strike zone to Cano. And now this slider to Mencavich. And I don't know what Mencavich was arguing about there. That's what he should have been swinging at.
He's still miffed as he walks around the Yankees dugout. There have been words for Brian Runge so far tonight. Damon had a few words for him after he struck out in the 1st.
I mean, the pitch to Mencavich, I don't know if he's complaining it's low, but if we can freeze it, well, that's not quite right. Right here would be the bottom of the strike zone, and that goes certainly past the knees, and it's right down the heart of the plate.
Not buying into it.
Maybe he's not seeing the ball well right now.
Missing away that time to Damon, and it's 1-2. Damon did not start in Saturday's loss to the Red Sox last week. He had mild back stiffness. Pinch hit in the 9th inning of that game, going 0 for 1. He's had some problems, cramps in both calves. Some calves problems this year, back troubles a little bit, but you know one thing about Johnny Damon, he will play hurt. And it seems always to be banged up, but does play through it. He's played at least 145 games in each of his last 11 major league seasons. 1996 through last season as he sends one foul off to the left.
I was thinking, maybe after that last Mencavich, maybe I could make my own K-zone.
Just build your own box?
Yeah, make my plate as big as I want. You know, the big K-zone, the dog zone. Everything would be a strike.
That is close.
Wow.
But it is ball 3.
Now remember, Damon didn't like the first call that he got. That pitch was actually better than the one he got called out on back in the first inning.
So perhaps now they're even. The 3-2. Takes ball 4. First base on balls allowed by Daisuke tonight. So Matsuzaka allowing his first walk of the night. Walked just 1 last time against the Yankees in 7 innings. 1-on-1 on for Jeter, who singled his first time up. 1 of 2 Yankees hits tonight. And it's ball 1 to Jeter. And the hit in the first inning. It's now 15 straight games for Jeter. And 18 of the last 19 hit in safely. And he missed a game on Thursday against Toronto that bruised left thigh. And hit in the thigh with a pitch.
Plus last week at Fenway Park, Daisuke hitting too bad as A-Rod, who they were trying to pitch inside, told to pitch inside by Julian Tavares, and the same thing with Jeter. The Red Sox have always tried to pitch Jeter inside. Most teams in baseball do.
You find it alarming that he is listening to Julian Tavares and getting some advice?
No, because he's been around a long time and he knows, and Daisuke is still obviously learning a lot about the hitters, and in particular the New York Yankees. But I mean, that's no secret. You have to pitch those guys inside, especially A-Rod and Jeter. You show them fastballs inside, then you go away with breaking balls, especially against A-Rod. But Jeter has that inside-out swing, so you try to jam him.
Well, the first at bat against A-Rod, he got him to ground out to third base on a spectacular play by Mike Lowell. He's fallen behind Jeter 2-0 with Damon at first, held on by Youkilis. And that is a strike. It's 2-1. Daisuke with 1 walk last time against the Yankees. He struck out 7. So far tonight, through 2 1/3 innings, he has 4 strikeouts.
Let's see if they have something going here on the 2-1 count. Damon with 5 steals on the season.
On the ground towards Lugo. Bobbles it, and it will get nobody.
Now, in his effort to rush to get the throw to second base, he lost control of the baseball, took his eye off it. Sometimes you're better off just making the short play, which would have been at first base. Right there, can't get the handle on it, bobbles it, and everybody's going to be safe. Because of Damon's speed, it might have been close at second base. Second error of the season for Lugo. And this is one team, one offense you do not want to give extra outs to.
First and second, 1 out for Abreu. Good swing and a miss, and the aggressive tack by the Yankees continues.
I find it interesting because I don't think Daisuke has fallen into a pattern of, first pitch fastballs or first pitch breaking balls. And it's interesting to see that a lot of these guys chasing the first pitch tonight off Matsuzaka. He's done a pretty good job, I think, in all of his starts mixing up his first pitch. But that's the approach they're taking tonight.
Abreu up the middle. Lugo's got a chance to atone. Touches second, fires to first, and keeping his foot in the bag was Youkilis. 2-0 Red Sox. Time for a Sports Desk update with Catherine Tappan.
Don, thank you. Hi, everyone. Be sure to check out Sports Desk tonight. The Patriots made a lot of noise this offseason. Can they continue the aggressive player pursuit this weekend in the NFL Draft? We'll put the wrap on our Patriots Draft Prep. Plus, highlights from the NBA playoffs as the defending champion Heat try to avoid falling into a huge hole against the Bulls. It's all on Sports Desk, presented by FW Webb, home of Frank Webb's Fast Centers. I'll see you right after Red Sox coverage, but right now, a quick timeout.
The 2007 Chevy Impala LT gets an EPA estimated 31 miles per gallon highway. And now every Impala comes with something Honda and Toyota don't. The best coverage in America. Exhilaration meets sophistication.
Qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on an 07 Impala LT for around $209 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. See for yourself. Shop and compare at MainDriveChevy.com.
Only one family name has sold cars and trucks in Maine for over a century.
In 1927, my family was on State Street selling Rios.
Since 1903, a growing family of customers is now into a second century.
The new deal in Augusta is Darlings.
With America's best warranty and highest initial quality.
Now you can have a Hyundai your way.
Plus, America's best for less, where we welcome all credit scores.
You'll do better at Darlings.
Why do thousands of businesses across Maine and New Hampshire run Roadrunner business class? We run faster. Oh, not just lightning speed internet. Our people, too. They'll be there to hook you up, provide 24/7 local support, web hosting, network security solutions. We can even provide high-definition video and music services, and much more. Run better. Run Roadrunner business class. Call today and save 50% on your first 3 months of service.
Top half of the fourth inning. Lowell, Veritek, and Crisp to face Pettitte with the Red Sox on top 2-0. Pettitte's at 57 pitches now as he misses for ball one to Mike Lowell.
That was a changeup from Pettitte. That was a pretty good pitch for him in that game last week at Fenway against the Red Sox.
To center field. Johnny Damon back a few steps. Time now for the Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Well, the question is, what is the Yankees' single-season record for most consecutive losses? The Yankees right now have lost 6 straight coming into tonight's action. Well, the answer for you a little bit later. I'll tell you this, it's been a little while. Veritek, a strikeout victim, his first time up.
Well, coming from you, I mean, that could be, they're still a very young man. I mean, it could be 20 years ago, and you would say that's a long time.
No, it's very long.
Oh, yeah, it was long.
Yeah.
Not many of us remember that.
No. Up and away. And it's 1-1 now to Veritek. 2 strikeouts so far tonight for Andy Pettitte. Got Ortiz in the first, Veritek in the second. Not walked anybody. Andy Pettitte last year 14 and 13. Career high 36 appearances last season with the Houston Astros. Down and in, Veritek goes chasing and strikes out for the second time tonight. A lot of strikeouts lately for Jason Veritek.
And that is vintage Andy Pettitte right there, getting ahead of those right-handers and going with that cut fastball down and in and off the plate. Second time he has got to Veritek tonight. First time on a straight fastball, that time the cut fastball.
2 down here in the top of the fourth, and it brings up Coco Crisp, who singled into left field his first time up. And again after the first pitch, this time miss it. Coco missing the last 5 games with the tightness in his left oblique. Came on defensively only once during that stretch.
Well, next week, Pete Sampras makes his first tournament appearance since retiring after his 2002 U.S. Open title, as he joins some of the world's greatest tennis players for the Champions Cup Boston at Agganis Arena. 4 days of Ness's exclusive high-def coverage begins this Thursday, May 3rd, and is brought to you by Saab, born from jets.
The 0-2 to Crisp. Strike 3 call. It's a 1-2-3-4 for Andy Pettitte. 3.5 done. 2-0 Boston. The Daisuke Matsuzaka era has officially begun.
Red Sox Nation's gone global on Nesson. One nation, one network.
Only Cardi's Furniture Superstores offers same-day delivery 7 days a week. Purchase from Cardi's, the largest furniture retailer, before 3 p.m. Get delivery the same day.
Beat that. Cardi's Furniture Superstores.
Hi, Lisa. Honey. What's that? Oh, it's a smoothie from Dunkin' Donuts. It has low-fat yogurt, vitamin C. It's a snack you can feel good about. Oh, you're right. I do feel good. I feel so good, I don't even mind that you stole my smoothie. I feel so good, I don't even feel awkward about taking it.
Delicious Dunkin' Donuts smoothies, now in tropical fruit. America runs on Dunkin'.
Stop by Dunkin' Donuts and try the new tropical fruit smoothie in pineapple, banana, and coconut flavor.
Now through April 30th, all it takes is your signature. During the Mercury Signature event. There's no cash due at signing on any 07 Mercury. Like the Mercury Milan, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. That 0 first month's payment, 0 down, and 0 cash due at signing on Mercury Milan for $256 a month. Ends April 30th at your Lincoln Mercury dealer.
Back at Yankee Stadium, and time now for the Athletic Trivia question. Our question tonight: what is the Yankees single-season record for most consecutive losses? They lost 13 in a row back in 1913. So, as you can tell, Dog, it was a long time ago.
Well, Dick Ebersol, Susan St. James here at the ball game tonight. Plus, they had a dedication to their field last season in Boston under their son Teddy's name.
And the Ted Ebersol Red Sox fields. And in a great spot.
Susan's a Red Sox fan. I think Dick's a Yankee fan.
And of course, their son Teddy was a great Red Sox fan. We check it first, and Bruce Fleming says that A-Rod did not go around. But as I'm looking at this rotation, this means Bruce Fleming will have the plate tomorrow. How many times do you think he'll get hit with foul balls?
I don't know, but I'll be watching it on TV. I hope it's not early. It puts him in a foul mood.
The ball and a strike to A-Rod. Fouled off to our right. And truly a remarkable start to the season for Alex Rodriguez. He tied Albert Pujols for the Major League record for home runs in the month of April. With 34 RBIs, he was one shy of Juan Gonzalez's Major League record for most RBIs in April, 35. Gonzalez 35 back in 1998. Outside, and it's 2-2.
We mentioned last week A-Rod not as high a leg kick this year as he's had in the past. Much better balance at the plate, seeing the ball better, and not afraid to use the opposite field.
To begin the year, I think most thought that at the end of this year, this would be it. Alex Rodriguez has the out clause in his contract, that option that he possesses. But reading some of the comments lately that he has had for a lot of the Yankee beat writers, that he would like to hang around, which I think surprised some folks.
Well, you know what? Let's wait and see what happens. If the Yankees get to postseason play, what kind of postseason will he have? And if it is a good one, then maybe he stays. Another bad one, see you later.
Do you think the ending will dictate whether or not he stays?
I really do.
Well, it's been a great beginning.
Daisuke trying to go inside with the fastball just off the inside corner. Clearly not a strike.
Well, this is largely the reason that a lot of Yankees fans have not really embraced him as a Yankee. 4 for 41 in the postseason, and as any Yankee fan will tell you, it only matters in the postseason. As there is ball 4, and he's down to first base. Second walk given up by Daisuke.
Most walks he's given up in a game is 3, and that was against Toronto in 6 innings up in the Rogers Center.
There's Giambi, who singled to left field his first time up. Combination of Jeter and Giambi, 5 for 10. The rest of the team 5 for 21 against Daisuke. The shift on for Giambi. He singled to left his first time up, one of only 2 hits off Daisuke. Rodriguez bluffed at first and now retreats to the bag. Second time tonight the Yankees have had the lead runner on. Giambi on with a single in the second. He didn't advance. Ahead of the count, 2-0. 3-0.
I think one thing Daisuke will learn is that there's more between pitch noise in this ballpark than any place in the big leagues. It's constant noise.
10 pitches in the inning, 7 balls. Giambi taken all the way, and he takes ball 4. So back-to-back walks all of a sudden for Daisuke Matsuzaka.
After the walk to A-Rod on a high breaking ball, the sequence of pitches to Giambi, missing with the cut fastball away. Tries a curveball, that is not a strike. Up with the fastball, and then up again with the fastball. None of those pitches really close to being strikes.
Well, you want noise, they got noise. Known as Godzilla in Japan, known as Godzilla in New York. Here is Hideki Matsui. And a first and second, nobody out situation. Slicing it foul to the left.
First pitch fastball challenging Matsui. Matsui just a little bit tardy on the 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Daisuke won the first battle, got Matsui to fly to center. Not close, and it's 1-1.
A lot of pitches up high this inning from Matsuzaka.
He has walked Alex Rodriguez. He has walked Jason Giambi. Now a count of 1-1 to Hideki Matsui. Ball 2, 2-1. 5 walks have come in the 4th inning this season, the most of any inning. As he makes his way through generally the order for the 2nd time. His walk high is 3, did that at Toronto. And has tied it tonight. The strike, and it's 2-2.
Well, it took a long time for Runge to call that. Still hasn't called it.
Not really. I thought McClellan was the slowest of the strike calls, but Brian Runge's right there with him. Posada waiting on deck. This is a very late swing. Sharply back into the seats.
It looked like Matsui there was expecting something off speed from Matsuzaka, and he was very defensive with his swing just to foul it off and have another pitch to look at. But it's almost like he was expecting some type of breaking ball, a changeup.
A-Rod at second, Giambi at first, nobody out. Matsui sends it foul, right down by the shoe tops. Now, these two have met in Japan in the past. This is Daisuke enjoying an 8-year stand-up career. The Cebu Lions, Nippon Professional Baseball, compiled a record of 108-60 with a 2.95 ERA in 204 games. At least 14 wins 6 times. And matching up with fellow countryman Hideki Matsui tonight at Yankee Stadium. In the dirt and a full count.
Well, Joe Torre how the run is going. Might be a little bit dangerous. Left-hander at the plate.
Daisuke thinking it over behind the hill.
Yankee fans doing what they can to rattle Matsuzaka.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium, Daisuke Matsuzaka. Runners go. Outside ball 4, he walks in. 3 consecutive walks to begin things in the 4th.
And a 3-2 changeup it looked like. And so right now Matsuzaka having a tough time finding the strike zone with any one of his pitches. His fastball, his curveball, his slider, and now the changeup. And the runners were going 3-2, trying to put some pressure on Daisuke.
This happened April 17th as well. He walked 3 in an inning against Toronto. He's done it tonight on a much larger stage. Bases loaded for Jorge Posada.
He's a little flustered out there right now. Bases loaded. He looked back to Lugo to see who was covering second on a double play. No, you get a ground ball, you go home with it.
I'm going to back off and try to get it together.
Lugo pointed, no, you're going to go home if you get a ground ball.
The breaking ball in there for a strike. 7 grand slams for Posada in his career, .310 average. And the base is loaded. A-Rod at third, Giambi at second, Matsui at first. Did he go? They'll check. No, says Mike Winters.
This is what I was talking about with the Daisuke with the bases loaded. Maybe a little flustered after the 3 walks. He's seeing who's covering second. He's pointing to Lugo or Pedroia. Pedroia said, no, you're going home with the ball if you get it. Go for the 1-2-3 double play.
This inning has been a lot of work. The 1-1. Bloop back at third, short left. Manny coming hard. He will dive and not get it. A-Rod had to wait. He breaks now for the plate and scores. The Yankees are on the board.
Fastball hit at Posada, just kind of bloops it on that left field line. And Manny makes a heck of an effort on this. He'll go into the slide, but he'll clearly trap the ball. And unfortunately for the Red Sox, that ball didn't get by him. I mean, nothing wrong with the effort by Ramirez. He took a good route to the ball, just couldn't get there in time.
The right bank, I think, has gone down as Posada pointing up to it. It did seem to get darker there all of a sudden, the shadow. Some of the players looking up, it either kind of flickered or went out.
Yeah, whatever it is, it doesn't look like it's had an effect on the field at all.
Definitely get a little darker down the left field line. But they play on. Cano takes ball 1. A lot of work in this inning for Matsuzaka. So far, 23 pitches, the 3 straight walks, and the RBI base hit for Posada. Still without a recorded out. Swing and a miss. Hit that one by Cano at 93. Cano struck out in the second inning. Swing and a miss.
Last time with 2 strikes against Cano, they went upstairs with a high fastball. J.C. Romero loosing in the Red Sox bullpen.
One and 2 to Robinson Cano. Bases loaded, nobody out. They elevate, and it evens at 2 and 2.
Second inning, when Cano was at the plate, the high fastball for the strikeout. He chases it. He did not chase the last one.
Farrell looks out at his starter, who is rattled here at the moment, trying to settle in and find his bearings. Cano slapped it foul off to the left. We saw that brief spell of being rattled earlier this season. Mentioned the outing at Toronto in which he walked 3 in the 4th inning. He's walked 3 in this 4th inning and given up the base hit that has driven in the Yankees' first run. But in that outing, he came back to strike out the side and settled down. Did find his bearings last time. This time trying to get out of a mess in the 4th and preserve the 1-run lead. Pettitte out to talk with him. Terry Francona was talking today about Jason Pettitte having some different things that he keeps on his wrist, some key words that will help him in communicating with Daisuke. They didn't go to the wrist that time, just went out and talked with him with what he could. The language barrier is certainly an issue, but for the most part, Jason said it hasn't been.
Right now, the issue is the Yankees with the bases loaded.
Giambi at third, Matsui at second, Posada at first. Cano with a swing and a miss. And a big strikeout for Daisuke.
That's a beautiful pitch. That's the changeup from Daisuke. And you know, he has Cano thinking about the high fastball. That's how he struck him out in the second inning. That's how he tried to get him a couple of pitches earlier with the high fastball. So Cano's thinking about something above the belt. Instead, he gets the changeup down low. Perfect pitch by Matsuzaka. Even though it wasn't a strike, for a hitter, that's a tough pitch to lay off.
So the first out of the inning. And now Doug Mencavich bats. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. Slices it foul off to the left.
You know, one thing I questioned on in the first few outings I've seen Matsuzaka pitch, and
I don't think he's used that changeup enough, to be honest with you. You know, I've seen a lot of sliders from him, cut fastballs, straight fastballs, a couple of curveballs. He's thrown an occasional changeup, but not as many as I thought he would. I mean, that's a great changeup.
Popped up from third comes Lowell. Another big out for Daisuke, and there's two down.
That one coming down a cut fastball. Mencavich hearing the boos from the Yankee crowd. See the little spin on this fastball? That's to Cutter. And straight up in the air for Mencavich to Lowell. So one out away from getting out of a big pile of trouble.
Johnny Damon has struck out looking and walked. Getting his third look tonight at Daisuke Matsuzaka. Grounds it foul. Johnny has been an incredible hitter with the bases loaded in his career. Over 400, but so far this season is 0 for 3. It away to Damon. Peter waits on deck. Daisuke's pitch count reaching 74 pitches. And some more time as he goes off the backside to work on the cleats. Giambi at third, Matsui at second, Posada at first, two down. Two and one. I think Johnny may have ruined someone's camera. A foul ball a couple of moments ago on the first pitch. Outside, 3-1 to Damon. No place to put him. Daisuke through the first 3 through 42 pitches. This will be pitch number 35 of the inning. Damon sends one foul, and it's a full count. Runners will be in motion. Bases filled with the Yankees, 2 down. Damon lifts it to right. Drew coming on. It'll fall for a hit. From third comes Giambi. Behind him is Matsui. The Yankees take the lead.
That was like a half a swing by Johnny Damon. That's why Damon's been so productive with the bases loaded in his career. A changeup, it looked like, from Matsuzaka. Damon with almost a half swing and just punches it in front of J.D. Drew. Yep, it's the changeup. And look at Damon. I mean, not even a complete swing. He was fooled by the pitch, but he still makes contact and drops it in front of Drew.
He may not have liked the swing, but he certainly liked the result.
Yep.
So New York on top now, 3-2. All 3 walks that Daisuke allowed have come around to score. Jeter swings through a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. On the ground through the vacated right side. From third comes Posada. It's a 4-2 Yankees lead. Ball bobbled in right, so Damon takes third.
Derek Jeter just reaching out and punching a cut fastball from Matsuzaka to the opposite field. Pettitte set up away. They get the pitch away, but again, just going the other way with the cutter. And then, as you mentioned, on that bobble by J.D. Drew, and David moves out of third base. He was going to stop at second. Here's the bobble, and that'll be the second error for J.D. Drew on the season.
Ninth man to bat in the inning for New York. And it's Bobby Abreu, who was struck out and grounded into a double play.
This has been a very strange inning. I mean, Matsuzaka really kind of sailing along in those first 3 innings. Looked very sharp, good location with his pitches. All of a sudden, he comes out in the 4th and walks 3 straight guys. Almost got out of the jam after back-to-back outs, but a half swing by Damon and opposite field by Jeter.
40th pitch of the inning. And it's ball 2, 2-0.
You go back and you look at the Posada base hit. That was just a little slight fluke to the opposite field, too. But the thing that killed him this inning, the 3 walks. This is the first hit to driving a run. Posada that going down that left field line. Good effort by Manny, but couldn't get to it.
Popped up. And into left, shallow Ramirez. Makes the catch that ends the inning, but the Yankees score 4 times in the inning to take a 4-2 lead.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries.
This lush expanse of green does more than beautify our world. Trees help clean the air of carbon dioxide, a major greenhouse gas. As North America's largest recycler, last year alone, Waste Management recycled enough paper to save over 41 million trees. From everyday collection to environmental protection, think green. Think Waste Management.
What if everyone checked their washrooms every half hour? Irving does. We inspect and clean our washrooms every 30 minutes. Being obsessed with making things better for you? That's my what if.
My neighbor drove all over town to find the best deal on a cell phone. I just logged on to Let's Talk. They make it easy to compare plans from all major carriers and find cell phone deals that are much cheaper than retail.
Like the hot BlackBerry Pearl with music and video player, a $369 value, yours free after mail-in rebate and new calling plan.
Let's Talk has the best prices, the best plans, and the most free phones guaranteed.
Log on to 25letstalk.com or call now to order your BlackBerry Pearl. Let's Talk, the smarter way to shop for...
4-2, the Yankees on top now as Dustin Pedroia leads it off. A long wait for Andy Pettitte. A 32-minute wait. As the Red Sox see the Yankees score 4 times. 3 walks in a row to begin the inning by Matsuzaka. They all score. He's trying to bunt his way on as Pedroia sends it foul.
Take a look at the hits against Daisuke in the 4th inning. None of them really scorched. The fly ball that drops in front of Manny Ramirez, a half swing by Johnny Damon, and then Gita with a pretty good swing here to get a base hit. But it's not the hits. It was the walks that got him in trouble. The 3 walks to start the inning, and that's an awful tough hole to dig out of, especially against this lineup. You walk 3 guys in a row, you're going to pay for it.
Well, meanwhile, Pettitte has retired 6 batters in a row after the 2-run home run by Kevin Youkilis in the 3rd.
FW Webb is proud to be official supplier of plumbing, heating, and cooling supplies to the Boston Red Sox. To learn more about how FW Webb can help you, contact your local professional contractor or visit fwweb.com. FW Webb, we've got it.
Pettitte ready with an 0-2 pitch to Pedroia. Well, Dustin lining out to right field, and Bobby Abreu his first time up. Pettitte with 4 strikeouts and a walk through the first 4 innings. Again to right. Abreu having to go back further this time, but again he's there to make the out on Pedroia. The Red Sox Player of the Week is brought to you by your Kia dealers. This week it's Hideki Okajima. 4 games, a 0.00 ERA, 3 innings pitched, 1 save. He struck out 4. And of course, the very impressive outing in the first game of that series against the Yankees when Papelbon was unavailable. He finished it off and really set the tone for the sweeping of the New York Yankees at Fenway last weekend. Well, Julio Lugo. Lugo is grounded to short and singled to right field. Quickly down 0-2. Looking on Jason Varitek's cleats. Rained here a long time today, but the field was mostly covered. It's not to rain since the game started. Outside 1-2. Well, Andy Pettitte away from the Yankees for 3 seasons. After some extremely good years with New York, was a 21-game winner back in 1996 with the Yankees when he went 21-8. Slap foul off to the right. And of course, his career beginning as a New York Yankee, a 22nd round pick back in 1990, and broke into the majors with the Yankees in 1995. Stayed here for the 2003 season. They were signing as a free agent with the Astros for the last 3 years, but now back in New York. A 21-8 record in 2003 as well, twice a 21-game winner. And very good in the postseason as well. And so far, the most reliable start of the season for Joe Torre. Full count now to Lugo.
This is one of those times, too, for Yankee fans, that you want to see Pettitte 1, 2, 3. The Red Sox get him back in the dugout, get that offense back up. Especially when they get Daisuke a little bit shaky out there right now.
And a walk to Lugo. So the second walk given up by Pettitte tonight.
Tonight, following Red Sox coverage, stay with Nesson for Sports Desk with Catherine Tappan, presented by FW Webb. Homer and Frank Webb's Bat Centers. Among the topics tonight, the Patriots are preparing for tomorrow's day one of the NFL draft. And former BC baseball and now Virginia Tech manager discussing the strategy in Blacksburg and returning to Boston. That's Sports Desk with Catherine Tappan tonight, following Red Sox coverage live in HD only on Nesson.
Red Sox have a one-out base runner for Kevin Youkilis. And a two-run home run his last time up. Yes, it's the time call from Brian Runge. In the dirt and gathered by Posada.
That's Posada last weekend with that bruised thumb. Took him out of the lineup for a couple of games against the Red Sox.
Runner goes. The pitch is a strike and no throw from Posada. So Lugo continues to be perfect as he steals second base.
You know, one approach you take against Andy Pettitte is you gamble. Okay, first move that he makes, you take off.
Because you can't read his move. So if you can do that and you're lucky and he goes to home plate, you steal it easy because it takes a long time to get the ball home. I think that's what Lugo was doing there, just guessing. He took off and picks up the stolen base.
Now Youkilis, left side, diving Jeter off the glove and into left. And Lugo to third on the base hit for Youkilis. Well, Youkilis has been on base 3 times tonight.
The walk, the home run, now the base hit by the dive of Jeter. Jeter gets a glove on it but can't knock it down, and that's why Lugo can move on to third base. Actually just deflected it with the thumb of his glove.
So first and third, one down. Ortiz 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out in the first inning, grounded out to second base in the third inning. To center field and in for a hit. From third base comes Lugo, and the Red Sox back within a run.
And this is exactly what the Red Sox wanted to do.
Sounded like a broken bat from David Ortiz. It is the cut fastball from Pettitte, but Ortiz has had great numbers against Andy Pettitte. Right toward the end of the bat, picks up the base hit. 20 RBI now for Ortiz on the season.
Well, Pettitte had the long wait coming into this inning, some 32 minutes. So his team came up with 4 runs. He's given up his 3rd run of his outing. With 1 out here in the 5th, Ron Guidry has been to the mound to talk with him. Youkilis at second, Ortiz at first for Manning.
Change up, Don. That's a pitch that Pettitte would go to at Fenway and had some success with it, getting some ground balls. Manny laid off that changeup that was away.
In the dirt, 2-0. Pettitte has struck out 4. He's walked 2. One of them coming in this inning, and that walk turned into a run. He walked Lugo, has come around with the 3rd Red Sox run. Ball 3, and it's 3-0.
Manny very seldom swings 3-0, but I'd let him go here. He doesn't even look for a sign. I'm sure there are times Frank Cano would like to see him swing 3-0.
He's had 2 chances at 3-0 this year and has not yet swung. And does not this time. It takes ball 4.
Stay tuned after the game for WB Mason's Extra Innings with Granite City Electric. Extra Innings Extra with Tom Caron and Dennis Eckersley. They'll bring you Daisuke and Matsuzaka's live post-game press conference plus reaction to Game 1 of this weekend series from both clubhouses. It's all right after the game in high def on NESN.
Bases loaded for Boston with 1 down. Youkilis at 3rd, Ortiz at 2nd, and Ramirez at 1st. Drew with a swing and a miss. It was grounded out to first and fly to right. 0 for 2 tonight against Andy Pettitte. In the dirt, and Posada with a nice play. Able to block it. Ball and a strike now to Drew.
Ball in the dirt. Posada going down. Nothing on his mind but blocking that pitch. Didn't try to catch it. Take it against the chest protected dead net and leave everybody at their bases.
The strike that time. And it's 1-2.
Pettitte got away with one there too because Posada wants this ball away. It stays inside, and that's a good pitch for a left-handed hitter to hit.
J.D. Drew would like to have that one back again.
Look at Posada. He wants that cutter out here, and it stays in this area.
So it is 1-2 to J.D. Drew. From Guidry, Joe Torre. Headed ahead 1-2 to J.D. Drew. Swing and a miss. Drew strikes out. That's a big strikeout for Andy Pettitte.
Yeah, he missed his pitch. You know, he froze on his pitch, which was the one previous to this. The breaking ball that stayed inside, and then he goes away with the breaking ball to pick up the strikeout.
But 2 pitches ago, this is the one J.D. Drew wished he had back. He didn't get it back. Next pitch, nasty, down and away. Once again, that cut fastball.
Now Mike Lowell, who is 0 for 2 tonight, was grounded out to short and flied to center. He's hit safely in 12 straight games coming into tonight. Hitting at 370 over the last 12 games. Kicks off Posada, but not far enough for Youkilis to try it.
Posada has got much better as he's got older as a defensive catcher. When he first came to the big leagues, not real good at blocking pitches in the dirt, and a lot of pass balls, but it's something he's worked on. Still not maybe the best in the league, but much better than he was when he broke in.
It's off Posada, and it's 3-0. So Pettitte's got himself in a hole here. Bases loaded with 2 outs, and he's behind Lowell 3-0. There's a strike with Lowell taken all the way, 3-1.
Posada and Pettitte this inning not on the same page.
To the signs once again. And Pettitte finally agreeing. The 3-1. Ball 4, he walks in, and the game is tied. From third comes Youkilis. Pettitte walks in a run.
Fifth inning has been a bad control hitting the pitches. Actually, the fourth for Daisuke, walking 3 in a row. And now Pettitte here in the fifth with 3 walks in this inning, and the last one to bring in a run.
About to throw his 30th pitch of the inning and his 95th of his outing. So the pitch count rising for Pettitte as he deals with Veritek. Takes the breaking ball for strike 1.
There is action too out in the Yankee bullpen. And who else?
Scott Proctor. Jason Veritek has had his problems tonight with Andy Pettitte striking out twice, both times swinging. And straightens him up this time. Well, last week Jason Veritek able to get to Andy Pettitte with a home run. An opposite field shot into the bullpen. As part of the Red Sox victory on Friday night. Gets through Posada from third base comes Ortiz. He will score and the Red Sox take the lead.
Well, that looked more like Posada when he was a younger player. He did not get down on this ball at all. He knows it's going to be in the dirt, but it looks like he tries to catch it. And it gets right through the 5-hole. See the glove come up? So after doing a very good job of blocking a lot of pitches at this at bat, not a good effort there by Posada.
So it allows Ortiz to score and give the Red Sox a lead. Pitch up and away now to Veritek.
How did they rule that?
They have not, as far as we know.
Did give it a wild pitch, which it did bounce, but it certainly was one that Posada could have blocked.
Second and third. 2 outs. A 3-run 5th inning so far for Boston. quite a bit this inning, and now we'll talk face to face. The Yankees scored 4 times in the bottom of the 4th inning to pull ahead 4-2. Andy Pettitte has given it right back here in the 5th, and then another. With the Red Sox on top now 5-4. He's run his pitch count up. This pitch will be the 100th of the night for the left-hander.
Yep, Torrey knows his bullpen's going to be in the game probably in the 6th inning, if not earlier.
As it has been all year. Pettitte with a swing and a miss according to Posada, but Pettitte got a piece.
Now the ball came back and hit Pettitte, but it hit him while he was in the batter's box. Ball bouncing up and hitting the left eye of Pettitte while he's still in the box. Posada's going to tag him just in case.
We'll do it again at 3-2. First base open. On the ground, foul. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Jason Pettitte. Is he having trouble seeing him or not?
Yeah, it almost looked like he's saying I'm having trouble seeing the signs.
Posada wearing weight on the fingertips like a lot of catchers do. He's got some tape on there or nail polish, tough to tell. 3-2. Ball 4, he walks in. That is the 4th walk of the inning given up by Andy Pettitte, and here comes Joe Torre. So the long way coming into the inning, and a very tough inning for Andy Pettitte. As Torre will go to get him, he has reached the 100-pitch plateau on the night. And departs trailing in this one 5-4. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local Ford store. Every journey begins with a bold move. Start your journey today by visiting your local Ford store. New pitcher, we come back to Yankee Stadium.
My name is Marty Correa, and my knee is where it hurts. If I don't run for a few days, I get kind of dark and gloomy. My wife will literally hand me my shoes and say, it's time for you to go for a run. Around the 5 to 6 mile mark, my knee starts saying, ouch, ouch, ouch. Recently, what I discovered was the Aleve liquid gels. Actually, I was very impressed. They do hit quickly, and they're strong. They do the job. So I was able to function the day after a 4-hour run. I try and whoop it up when I'm out there running. Give out some rebel yells, let people know where I'm at. You're running a long run, and you go, woo! That's my secret weapon. It works every time.
It's the ultimate Red Sox show for the ultimate Red Sox fan. Join Hazel May as she counts down the 9 must-see stories each week from Red Sox Nation, with interviews from Sox players, special features, and highlights. Granite City Electric's ultimate Red Sox show is the ultimate way to keep up on all things Red Sox. Granite City Electric's ultimate Red Sox show with Hazel May. Sundays, only on NESN.
Sunday at noon, Olympia Sports presents the Boston Globe pregame show with Tom Caron and Dennis Eckersley. They'll preview the pitching matchup for the series finale between Julian Tavares and Chin-Ming Wong. Plus, the Boston Globe Gordon Eaves will have his Major League Baseball notebook, and you'll also see the plays of the week. It's coming up Sunday at noon in high definition only on NESN. Well, it's a 5-4 Red Sox lead, top half of the 5th with 2 down. And Andy Pettitte leaving after coming unglued a little bit in the 5th inning. He had pitched very well tonight. And both pitchers running into trouble in back-to-back innings, looking at their breakdowns. And Andy Pettitte walking for this inning. Matsuzaka walked 3 straight. They all scored. So far, only one of those walks was scored for Pettitte on is Scott Proctor.
More walks than strikeouts for Proctor. 8 walks and 6 strikeouts in 12 innings. 10 hits allowed and 6 earned runs. Coco 2 for 12 in his career. Crisp, the 9th man to bat here in the 5th inning.
Hooks a fly ball to center field. Damon back. And he'll make the catch that ends the inning. The Red Sox scored 3 times and take a 5-4 lead into the bottom of the 5th.
Some people buy the Toyota Tacoma because it's rugged. Some because it retains its value. A Tacoma could also save you thousands compared to similarly priced trucks, which many find appealing. But the vast majority of Tacoma owners are Tacoma owners because of a little thing called Toyota reliability. Should you buy a Tacoma? Ask someone you know who drives one. They're out there.
Spring is outdoor cleaning time. Here are some questions from Briggs & Stratton to help you select the pressure washer that's best for you. First, what are you planning to clean? How large is your project? And how often do you plan on using your pressure washer? Generally, the higher the pressure and flow, the faster and the more effective you can clean. Also, high-performance pressure washers are more durable for frequent use. Look for a reliable engine that starts easily and has the power you need. For more information, visit OutdoorCleaning.com.
Phone, internet, and TV for one low price? I wish.
I wish my phone wasn't all staticky.
I wish I had better picture and sound for game day.
Wishing and hoping.
With Verizon, you get everything you wish for. Unlimited calling to anywhere in the U.S., broadband, and TV, all for $99.99 a month.
I wish I could get high-speed internet that's right for me.
Phone, broadband, TV, wireless. Verizon.
At VIP Parts, Tires, and Service, we know how to show you and your car a little love. Need tires? Our Speed Lane pros help you make the right selection for the best price guaranteed. We'll install them in under an hour. No wasted time. Just the biggest selection of name brand quality tires. Michelin, Pirelli, Goodyear, and more in stock when you need them. Installed by qualified service techs faster than anywhere. When you need quality name brand tires, make an appointment in our Speed Lane bay. VIP. A little love goes a long way.
Stay tuned all season for the Bob Stores Easy as 1, 2, 3 strikeout. At Bob Stores, they're all about making a shopping experience easy. So this season, make Bob Stores your destination for casual wear, active wear, team wear, and work wear.
A 5-4 Red Sox lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. A 25-minute wait for Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Well, the last time we saw him have a bad inning like that, he came back the next inning and I believe struck out the side.
He did. Going to face Alex Rodriguez to begin things here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Jason Giambi and Hideki Matsui. Alex Rodriguez grounded out to third base in the 1st inning. He walked and scored in the 4th inning. Shoots it foul off to the right, and it's 0-2 to A-Rod. Tied the Major League record for most home runs in the month of April. Along with Albert Pujols, who did it last season. Coming into tonight's action with 14 home runs. Not the most he's ever hit in any month. He had 15 home runs in August of 2003 while with the Texas Rangers. And 2 of those home runs coming off Curt Schilling. As Daisuke Matsuzaka has a count of 1-2. We're at Yankee Stadium in New York. Don Orsillo, Jerry Remy, and Tina Cervasio bringing you Boston Red Sox baseball with high definition on NESN.
You have any idea what borough this is in, Don? The Bronx?
The Bronx. Is that a trick question? Is there more than... In the Bronx. 2-2.
Until I gave you the Bronx, were you sure?
But I thought there was more to it. I figured it was the Bronx. I knew it was the Bronx, but I thought there's got to be something else to it.
A couple of long innings trying to keep you on your toes.
Well, John Farrell is on his toes. A lot of pacing over the last 2 innings. That Red Sox dugout as Daisuke roughed up in the 4th, back out there for the 5th, ready with the payoff pitch to Arod. Did he go? Yes, he did. Bruce Fleming rings him up.
Matsuzaka going to a 3-2 slider, it looks like, to Arod. To tell from that angle, better look here.
Looks like he controlled it.
Yes, it did. And looks like Red Sox got away with one there. As Arod got the bad news as he was heading down that first base line from Bruce Fleming.
So 1 down. And here's Jason Giambi. Well, for Daisuke, that is his 6th strikeout of the night. Giambi tonight has singled to left field, walked, and scored. The Red Sox right now out hitting the Yankees 6-5. Fouled off, 1-2. Giambi last year finished the year hitting at .253, 37 homers in 139 games of the Yankees last season. Walked 110 times. Breaking ball hit on the ground. The shift on. It's Lugo on the right side of the infield. He throws out Giambi, 2 down. And we go back to Boston and Tom Karen. TC.
Thank you, Don. Our New England Total Deal with game break. John Lester has wrapped up his rehab appearance in Pettitte for the night. 5 innings. He threw 84 pitches, 56 strikes. And he didn't give up a hit to Buffalo down at the Busch Stadium. 3 hits as Lester wraps it up. Back to Don and Jerry in the Bronx.
All right, TC, thanks very much. 2 down here in the 5th inning. Certainly good news for John Lester. Not only pitching well tonight, but he gets good news apparently from the doctors yesterday as he was rechecked and is still cancer-free, which is terrific news for John Lester. Terry Francona sharing that news with us today. Hideki Matsui 0 for 1 with a walk. And quickly down 0-2. Matsui hitting at .302 in 51 games last year before the injury that took place against the Red Sox last season and fracturing the wrist. First time he had been on the disabled list in his career, both in Japan and here in the United States. He played in 1,768 consecutive professional games before the injury, which happened on May 11th. 1,250 of those games coming with the Yomiuri Giants. 518 games with the Yankees before finally missing a game. Innings up now at 2-2. The streak by Matsui of the 518 consecutive games was the longest streak by the Yankees by any Yankee since Lou Gehrig's, of course, the 2,130 game streak, which was finally beaten by Cal Ripken as there was ball 3. Daisuke thought he had him.
Sure did. He thought he had that cut fastball on the outside corner, took a step toward the Red Sox dugout. Whipped a little bit outside.
In the air to center field, Coco Crisp has room and puts it away. It's a 1-2-3 fit for Daisuke. It's the Red Sox 5-4 lead.
There is a rhythm of the seasons, so we've developed styles of beer to accompany that.
We brew Oktoberfest, Winter Lager, White Ale, and right now, there's Summer Ale.
Samuel Adams Summer Ale is a flavorful wheat beer. It has a very nice spice note.
It has a little lemon zest and a historic brewing spice called Grains of Paradise. It's citrusy.
Lemon. Flavorful, refreshing.
Wow.
Sam Adams Summer Ale. It's just something about it. It's like totally reminds you of summer, you know?
Stay in the game with an hour of post-game coverage on NESN. It's your post-game all-access pass with WB Mason's Extra Innings and Granite City Electric's Extra Innings Extra.
Pick up a NESN Viewer's Guide at the Pepsi display at your local Cumberland Farms for a chance to win a 2008 Dodge Avenger.
Olympia Sports is your majestic headquarters, featuring the new thermobase technology that insulates while maintaining temperature control. Get it at Olympia Sports. Shop with confidence, satisfaction guaranteed.
歴史, tradiciones, pasión, ganar, Green Monster, The Impossible Dream, Jazz, Bambino,
Pecky Sport doesn't work here.
Climbing the Ladder,
High Cheese,
Rally Cap.
My English getting better.
There is no language barrier on NESN. We speak the language of Red Sox Nation.
One nation, one network, NESN.
Top half of the sixth inning, it's 5-4. The Red Sox on top as Dustin Pedroia leads it off for the Red Sox here in the sixth. He's done the same thing twice. That's fly to right. Both times Bobby Abreu back there to make the catch. On the ground as to his left moves Jeter to throw out Pedroia for the first out of the inning, and we check back in with Tina Cervasio.
Don, earlier we saw Julio Lugo take off for a steal in the fifth inning. I was talking to first base coach Luis Alicea this week, not about, of course, how fast Lugo is, but why he is a good base stealer. And he said that Lugo might be the one guy in this league who immediately goes into full speed. It doesn't take him time to pick up speed. He just leaves the bag, and he's immediately at full speed. He goes 0 to 60 in a split second, just like Jerry Remy back in his heyday.
Jerry will have something to say once he finishes the dog. To left field, back, and it is gone. A home run.
Lugo has to retag first.
Julio Lugo, his first home run in the Red Sox uniform, and it puts the Red Sox on top 6-4.
Quite a night for Lugo. The base hit, a walk, a steal, and now the home run, kind of a line drive home run, as Susan James likes that result. I think Lugo, I don't know if he tripped over first base or he was stunned and the ball went out of the ballpark, but he had to go back and retag. Line drive, he's running hard. He's not sure it's going to get out of the ballpark now. For some reason, after he rounded first, he went back and retagged it. Let's see. Looks down. Yeah, he got it the first time. But just to be sure, seeing it was a home run, he goes back and gets it again.
So Julio Lugo has put the Red Sox on top 6-4. As Youkilis, who homered earlier, sends one foul off to the right.
By the way, Tina, thank you very much for that compliment, but I can't even remember how to steal a base.
That's what I heard. I heard you were fast, Jerry. So, you know, and I know you're still always trying to steal some bases every so often now. I see it in position, ready to go.
I'm still fast getting out of the ballpark after a game, that's for sure.
Keep using those skills.
You know, Ricky Henderson was very much, well, greatest base stealer ever. And, you know, when he had that crossover step, he was like a sprinter coming out of blocks. You know, he just was at full speed right away. Strong, strong legs.
Mencavich over by the tarp, leaning in, but can't get it, and it falls into the well. Mencavich all right.
Jumping over the fence there, timing it, but couldn't get to the baseball. And last week at Fenway Park, making the catch as he goes into the stands. That was on that Saturday ball game on Fox, where the Red Sox and Yankees will be tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
The 1-2 pitch to Youkilis is sent foul back and above us into the top deck. Well, the Red Sox and the Yankees playing late day baseball tomorrow afternoon, and then we're back with you on Sunday as they wrap up this 3-game series with New York. It'll be Tim Wakefield here tomorrow afternoon, 2-2 against Jeff Karsten's 0-1. And then on Sunday, Julian Tavares against Chin-Ming Wong.
Yeah, I think you see the state of the Yankee pitching. A great example, I think, in this game. It's only the 6th inning. But with the game close, he has to go to Proctor at this stage of the game. He doesn't want to use Proctor now. Proctor's a guy that he wants in the 7th, 8th inning leading up to Mariano Rivera. But, you know, because the Red Sox have been scoring some runs, had the big inning of 5th, he's got to go to him now, and that just messes everything up out there for him.
In the air to right center field. Damon is over and makes the catch. Well, the inability of the starters to get past the 5th or 6th innings has really been a problem all year long. And Torrey hopping out of the dugout. In fact, to 6 or more innings has only happened 6 of 21 games this season. Proctor was able to get the last out of the 5th. And the first 2 outs of this inning mixed between the home run by Lugo. Proctor done for the night. Sean Henn will be coming on as it is a 6-4 Red Sox lead.
Coverage begins at 12 on Nesson.
The Daisuke Matsuzaka era has officially begun.
Red Sox Nation's gone global on Nesson. One nation, one network.
Well, now it's time to keep score with Nesson, brought to you by Pepsi. Julio Lugo back in the 5th inning walked, and how I would score this sequence for Lugo. And then, of course, stole second base, eventually scored. I'd give him a base on balls. I gave him the SB down here for the stolen base, circle it so that stands out for me. He then went to 3rd on a Youkilis hit, and, of course, scored on the David Ortiz hit. It's kind of ugly, but that's how I would do it. For more scoring tips and a chance to win the 2008 Dodge Avenger, pick up your free Nesson Viewer's Guide at Pepsi displays in your local Cumberland Farms.
How can you tell which voice he stole? You just remember off the top of your head.
No, if he steals, in other words, I put the SB down there. If he stole second, I put it up higher on the thing.
Sean Henn, the new Yankees pitcher.
You worry about your scorecard. I got mine figured out.
trying to figure out yours.
11th appearance for Hen. 0 for 2 is David Ortiz.
David with a single his last time up to drive in a run. His 20th RBI of the season. Again, no shift on really, but deep at second base is Robinson Cano. Some 3 strides on the outfield grass. Jeter remains on the left side of the infield. He's skying one foul off to the left. John Hen appearing in 4 September games with the Yankees last year. 0-1 with a 4.82 ERA. Starting games last year at AAA Columbus. He was 3-1. Ortiz jumping back out of the way. Ended up going 3 1/3 in relief in a loss at Minnesota earlier this season. It's the longest outing of the season by a Yankees reliever. Listen to Ortiz, and it's 3-1.
One of the things both managers, Terry Francona and Joe Torre, talk about when they're facing each other, Red Sox, Yankees, the fact that how they can go through pitching staffs in a series. It's amazing, you know, because both teams very good offenses. Both teams are very patient. They walk a lot. Somewhere along the line, you got to get some deep starts from your starting pitchers. You can just blow out the bullpen, and that's happened consistently for the Yankees. The Red Sox have been very fortunate. Their starters have been able to go deep in games.
Schilling, Beckett, and Daisuke displaying that in the first go around. And tonight, Daisuke with 99 pitches through the first 5 innings.
Daisuke probably, I would say the 6th might be his last. Pretty similar to that last time he got in trouble up in Toronto. Had that bad inning, then came back with 3 strikeouts. Last inning comes back and gets a 1-2-3 inning with 1 strikeout.
Inside ball 4, and Ortiz walks with 2 outs in the inning. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Rico, Kia, and by LP Lumber. A total of 6 walks allowed by Yankees pitching. The first for Sean Hen. And it brings up Manny, who has been on twice, a single, a ground out to short, and a walk. Foul off to the right. And for the Yankees, who lost their 6th straight game here last night, they've allowed at least 6 runs in the last 7 games. Make it 8 now, with the Red Sox scoring 6 tonight. Again to the right, 0-2. And with some good velocity, he's been working 94 to 95.
Totally different styles. The 2 lefties out in the bullpen. Hen right over the top, power pitcher, and of course Myers, that submarine style delivery.
Then missed all of 2002 in the minor leagues after he had left elbow surgery. Not been to the DL since. Yankees with further action in their pen. Vizcaino is up. Pettitte through 4 2/3. Scott Proctor an inning. And Sean Henn facing his second batter since coming from the Yankees pen. Two and two. Sent foul off to the right.
Bullpen has been very busy for the New York Yankees. We've talked about that all night long.
A lot of guys getting a lot of work out there. Too much work.
Ball 3 and full count.
See the appearances this season. Myers with 13. Proctor not including tonight. He's been in 14 now. Vizcaíno will be in this game. We might see them all before it's over.
Proctor ended up going an inning. 3-2 pitch to Manning. Swing and a miss, and strikes him out to end the inning. A home run for Julio Lugo has given the Red Sox a 6-4 lead.
The import with a taste as big as Canada. Molson Canadian. Here's to good nature.
Maine Medical Center has some of the newest and most technologically advanced diagnostic equipment in the country. But nothing will ever take the place of this instrument. This combination of tenderness and technology is why Maine Medical Center has been named the 4th safest hospital in the country. Maine Medical Center, centered around you.
You are our neighbors. You teach. You cheer. You sacrifice. You help those around you. You love your little corner of the world. Here at Extra Mart, we are proud to serve you, and we thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
Visit the new extramart.com and sign up for the Extra Email Club and have a chance to win a PlayStation 3. Club members are the first to learn about great context, incredible sales, receive coupons, and more. Go to extramart.com today.
Hello?
Mrs. Anderson, this is Mark Brown. I'm from the collections department of...
Hi. Listen, I'm sorry I haven't made my payment yet. I'll get it in as soon as I can.
Maybe you should call In Charge. They'll work with you and come up with a solution that's right for you.
When life hands you a little more than you can manage, call In Charge Debt Solutions. We're a nonprofit company that puts people back in control by helping them manage their debt. We'll stop the collection calls, and we'll help lower your interest rates, so you'll have one affordable monthly payment. Call In Charge today.
The LoJack Caught Stealing Sweepstakes is back again for another season. Visit LoJack.com/caught-stealing for details and to enter to win. LoJack, the only stolen vehicle recovery system operated by the police.
6-4, Red Sox on top as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning. And it is the bottom third of the Yankees order. Jorge Posada, Robinson, Cano, and Doug Mencavich.
Now for the first part of this ball game, Daisuke had a long sleeve shirt on. As we look at the bullpen, Romero Timlin loosening for the Red Sox under that baseball top. After the 4th inning, he went in, took it off. In the last couple of innings, no sleeves. Maybe more comfortable. Back in the 4th inning, the strikeout to Robinson Cano, the long sleeves there. But of course, that's the inning that he had a lot of problems with his control. Went in after the 4th, took off the baseball undershirt. You don't get that stuff everywhere, Don.
Oh, that's pretty good stuff.
And in the 5th inning, A-Rod, first guy he faces with no sleeves, strikes him out.
The moral of the story is maybe you shouldn't wear sleeves.
Well, you know something? A lot of pitchers are not comfortable wearing sleeves. You know, I would imagine Daisuke pitching in domes in Japan probably a lot of times did not wear them.
All down the left field line, back and out of play. And it's 2-2. Posada's lined out to center, singled and knocked in a run. As he bats with the bases empty to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. Right side at Youkilis. The first out of the inning.
Good change up there by Daisuke. Again, off speed, had Posada off balance, and gets the little ground ball to Kevin Youkilis. See the grip to the changeup. Again, he turns it over like a screwball.
It's now 5 in a row retired by Daisuke. And Robinson Cano's had a tough time against Matsuzaka tonight. Striking out twice, full time swinging. Strike this time over the outside corner, 1-1. Robinson Cano now in his 3rd season in New York, broke onto the scene in 2005 in 131 games with the Yankees. Robinson's father, Jose, signed with the Yankees back in 1980, but reached the major leagues briefly with the Houston Astros in 1989, appearing in 6 games, getting 6 at bats, spending the bulk of his career in the Mexican League. Outside, and it evens up now at 2-2. Field line, bending his man, and gives chase, but it's back into the seats.
You know, we do a lot of traveling. We stay in a lot of different hotels around the league, and I was telling the story earlier, Don. Can't mention the name of the hotel for security purposes, but a very strange experience last night checking into my room. Never happened before. I walk into the room, I see a bed, and over to my right, I see a treadmill. And as I look further, there's an exercise ball and some barbells. So this is I'm not lying. I thought I was in the gym
with a bed.
So I walked out and I looked up at my room number again, and it was supposed to be my room. So I walked in and I have all this exercise stuff in my room, and I figured, you know, maybe they store it there or something. Maybe I got this room they're storing stuff in. So I asked the bellman today when he brought up my bag. He said, well, there's 2 floors in this hotel where we have this in every room. I've never seen that before.
Well, that's the first.
You roll out of bed, you can get your running in.
It's convenient,
lift some weights, do some crunches, and then take a shower. Never have to leave the room. It's great.
Let's go to the gym. The gym is probably some 10 floors away from where you are. Not anymore.
More places to think of stuff like that. For people like me who don't like to go out, I mean, now you don't have to go to the gym. It's right there in your room.
I think you only figure out how to have a full-time chef in that room with you, too. You'd be all set.
Honest to God, I thought I was in the gym. 111 so far for Daisuke. This will be his last inning.
This one bouncing to the backstop. And it's a full count now to Cano. The most pitches he has thrown in any outing is 108, which he has done twice, and he has now surpassed that tonight. 108 last time out against the Yankees in 7 innings. 108 in his first game pitched at Kansas City.
Have you ever walked into a room, you know how we get in late at night, you know, sometimes 4 or 5 in the morning? Have you ever checked into a room where there's been somebody already in there sleeping?
Yes. Yes. I have actually gone in, and all of a sudden there's trash in the trash can and there's stuff around there. Yeah.
That happened to me in Toronto about, I guess 7, 8 years ago. I walked in, and as you walk in, you can't see the bed, so you keep walking. All of a sudden, look, there's some guy in a bed. He starts to. I went sprinting out of it.
Actually, an actual person in the room?
In the bed.
That I have not had, no. I thought you meant somebody been there, and it wasn't clean.
See you later, Robinson. Now he's had a tough night against Daisuke.
Third time. He's down by way of the K.
Yeah, he's got him twice on fastballs, once on a changeup, and he's got him guessing right now. And this is the fastball for the strikeout. He's really confused Robinson Cano tonight. Yes, I went sprinting out of that room, and I got to that elevator as quick as possible. I mean, that guy could have had a gun, right? Thinking I was breaking in.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is he thinking about you coming into his room in the middle of the night? 2 down for Doug Mencavich, who was struck out and popped out.
Of course, I did take his wallet on the way out. And his candle.
I have one question about this treadmill and everything else. Where do you have room for the mechanical bull with all this stuff in the room?
I had to put it on the bed, so I'm sleeping on the floor. I go bouncing off the mechanical bull right into the treadmill and the bounce. If I land lucky, I'll land on the crunch ball or whatever they call it.
Six in a row retired by Matsuzaka. With 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Maybe next trip I'll have a car dealership in my room.
And the ground at Youkilis. Well, Daisuke has certainly settled down. He's retired the last 7 in a row. Red Sox on top 6-4.
They really use you good.
Ellsworth elevates to a 100,000-mile warranty at the top of the hill on Route 3.
Where the value is real.
Plus, best-in-class fuel efficiency and pure GMC trucks are less than Chevy.
I found Darlings were the best price.
Family vans with best-in-class fuel efficiency, 4x4 Jeeps with electronic stability.
They're willing to go the extra mile.
It's like having family in the business.
And we welcome all credit scores at Darlings Ellsworth Auto Mall.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Silverado lineup. Trucks with up to 367 horsepower and 10,500 pounds towing capacity. Trucks with a rear door that can open 170 degrees. The best coverage in America. No wonder it's the 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The all-new Chevy Silverado.
Come in today to see the #1 selling trucks in Maine.
You love your new HD TV set, right? But that HD TV alone is not going to give you what you want. In order to see your favorite shows, movies, and sports in true high definition, you need HD service. Add digital cable with HD service to your HD TV and enjoy up to 5 times the resolution of standard definition television. There's no extra equipment to buy, and digital cable customers can upgrade to HD service for free. So start something new and get everything you've been looking for. Discover HD service from Time Warner Cable and discover the power of you.
I play banjo. I play bass. I play trumpet.
And I play the lottery.
And Maine lottery players win almost $3 million in prizes a week. That could be music to your ears.
If we were in an emergency situation, we don't have extra. We have a little bit of water and a little bit of food. A meeting place, no.
No. For the family to meet?
No.
Half of the 7th inning, 6-4. The Red Sox on top as J.D. Drew leads it off for Boston. Mike Lowell and then Jason Varitek will be along in the inning. John Henn back on the mound is a lot of walk to David Ortiz before striking out Manny Ramirez to end the 6th inning. Third Yankees pitcher of the night. Pettitte 4 2/3 tonight. Charged with 5 Red Sox runs. Cano. 1 down.
Time now for the Panasonic Plasma replay season. Getting crisp, rich detail motion. And it's going to be the first home run of the season for Julio Lugo. Not clean, as he had to go back and re-tag first base. Wasn't quite sure he got it. Goes back to tag it again, and then completes his trip around the bases with his first home run.
1 down for Mike Lowell. Lowell looking to extend that hitting streak coming into tonight. As he's 0 for 2 with a walk, riding a 12-game hitting streak. More action in the Yankees pen. Luis Vizcaino was up last inning and is up again this inning. Red Sox pen is busy also. Mike Timlin is up and likely to be coming on after the longest outing of the year pitch count wise for Daisuke Matsuzaka. He throws 117 pitches tonight through 6 innings.
Now the impressive thing about Matsuzaka, the way he bounced back after that very tough 4th inning, losing his control, walking 3 guys, giving up 4 runs, then back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings in the 5th and 6th.
Second time we have seen him struggle like that in an inning, but also the second time we see him bounce back right after it.
Only giving up 5 hits to the Yankees, and quite honestly, a lot of those hits were not really exactly crushed.
And fouled off to the right, and it's still 2-2. It's almost time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the largest selection of best brand names in furniture and mattresses in New England. Visit them in Reading, Natick, Avon, and Nashua. It's not just a store, it's an experience. It's a 2-2 pitch to Mike Lowell. And a swing and a miss. Lowell strikes out. Second strikeout for Sean Henn.
He's done a pretty decent job quieting things down here for the Yankees. A walk to start off with, but then a strikeout to Manny Ramirez, a ground out. Now the fastball by Mike Lowell.
Two down for Jason Varitek. He was struck out twice tonight. Once in the 2nd and then once in the 4th. He walked his last time out. Fouled off, getting a piece of Posada.
Right off the mask, it looked like, and jarred Posada. Must be like getting hit with a punch. Ooh.
Two now has been right around that 94-mile-per-hour mark since coming in.
Yeah, sneaky 2 down. He's got that very slow delivery, and then all of a sudden, boom, 94 with the fastball.
Popped up, foul ground. Posada coming back. He's got room and makes the catch. The 1-2 inning. 7th inning stretch at 6-4 Red Sox. Time for a Sports Desk update with Catherine Tappan.
Newman's Own Organics Diced Coffee from McDonald's. Now even harder to resist in vanilla, hazelnut, or our new limited time flavor, caramel.
It's a fact. People who achieve higher levels of education have more rewarding careers, enjoy a higher standard of living, and earn a lot more money. This year alone, hundreds of thousands of adults will go back to school at online colleges and universities because they know education is the key to a better life. But going back to school can be very confusing, and that's why thousands of people are turning to Education Connection. This amazing free service provides the career tools and guidance that takes all the guesswork out of this important decision. Our free personality test can match you to a career and then help you select an appropriate program. Best of all, Education Connection will match you to schools that meet your unique needs. If you dream of a better job and earning more money, Education Connection is the place to start. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Let Education Connection find the right school for you. It's free, so call 800-737-4021 or log on to 45educationadvising.com now.
Back at Yankee Stadium, where it is a 6-4 Red Sox lead as we get ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. We send it back to the Nesson Studios and a Sports Desk update with Catherine Tappan.
Don, thank you. Hi again, everybody. It's been an emotional couple of weeks for the Virginia Tech Hokies in the aftermath of the massacre that shook the entire nation. Tonight on Sports Desk, presented by FW Webb, home of Frank Webb's Bat Centers, we'll hear from the Hokies head baseball coach, Peter Hughes, as he prepares to take on his former team, the BC Eagles, in an emotional return to the heights. That story, plus Curt Schilling sounds off with a $1 million challenge. I'll see you tonight. We'll get you right back to the Bronx after this quick break.
Stay tuned after the game for WB Mason's Extra Innings with Tom Caron and Dennis Eckersley. You'll get all the analysis and reaction to Daisuke's Yankee Stadium debut, including his live press conference. Plus, John Mustard starts tonight for the Red Sox. He'll bring you the highlights from Pawtucket. It's all right after the game in high definition on Nesson.
Last half of the 7th, it is 6-4 Red Sox on top, and after 6 innings from Daisuke, on is Mike Timlin.
7th appearance of the season for Timlin. He's 1-0, only 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits allowed and 4 earned runs. A couple of walks and a strikeout. Last time Timlin worked was against Toronto. An inning in that game, that was on the 24th. Gave up a hit, no runs. Johnny Damon only 2 for 17. Jeter 4 for 22 against Mike Timlin.
Time now for the game summary. It's brought to you by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. Well, Kevin Youkilis got the Red Sox on the board first with a 2-run home run, his 2nd home run of the year. Goes back in the 3rd inning. And then Julio Lugo, his first home run in a Red Sox uniform in the 6th. Give the Red Sox a 6-4 lead. Tonight for Daisuke Matsuzaka, only the one bad inning, the 4th inning in which he walked 3 straight. It turned into a 4-run inning for the Yankees. That's all he would give up tonight against the Yankees. As he leaves after 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. He walked 4, struck out 7, and threw a 117 pitches tonight. It is the most that he has thrown in any outing in a Red Sox uniform, and it'll be the top of the Yankees order, Damon, Jeter, and Abreu here in the 7th inning. And Terry, so far I think we talked about their pitching a great deal, but right now the Yankees do have some problems in that department. I guess it doesn't really matter how good your lineup is, because this is an extremely good Yankees lineup. If you don't have pitching, you have to score a lot of runs on a nightly basis to win, and right now they're not.
Well, you're exactly right, Don, and over the long haul, it's going to be pitching that's going to get you into postseason play and win championships. And this staff, as it is assembled right now, is not going to cut. You know, they're going to have to score a ton of runs. Now the Red Sox, they've got to bridge the gap now to Papelbon.
Johnny Damon leading it off. He struck out in the 1st. He walked in the 3rd, singled to right in the 4th. A single in the 4th knocked in 2 runs, RBI 7 and 8. Back at Timlin, who knocks it down, stays with it, and throws out Damon.
Timlin's got to be a little shaky, you know, on these balls back through the middle. Remember that line shot that was back about the face high. This time he gets the big bounce, and he's able to block it, knock it down, and get Damon at first base. But they're taking hot shots at Timlin up the middle. That one back at Fenway, that was scary. He's able to get the glove up, make the catch right in front of his face.
Action behind him, Hideki Okajima. Well, he later gave up a home run in that outing, and he was admitting the fact that he was pretty shaken at the ball right back at him. Very fortunate to have made the catch right in front of his face. There's Jeter. Been on base 3 times tonight, twice on singles, reached on an error committed by Julio Lugo in the 3rd. Saturday against the Red Sox, Jeter playing his 1,695th career game, which surpassed Willie Randolph for 10th place on the Yankees all-time list. Looped into shallow right, and that'll drop in for a hit. It's the 3rd hit of the night for the Yankees captain.
And he gets a lot of those. You know, we mentioned the fact that they try to tie him up inside. And a lot of times, if he can get a decent part of the bat on the ball with that inside-out swing, he'll just bloop it the other way for a base hit. I mean, he's really tied up with that fastball by Timlin, but still ends up at a base hit. And, of course, Timlin with a little something to say to Jeter after that hit.
One out, one on. Bobby Abreu, the batter, is 0 for 3 tonight. A good offering there on the button, didn't get it.
Well, you know, he's in a big-time slump right now. He's 1 for his last 21, which makes him do things like that. If he's swinging a bat well, you want him swinging a bat against Timlin, trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark and tie it up.
Evens up at 1-1. Abreu so far this season with 1 home run. A high strike, and it's 1-2. You didn't think so?
That's what happens when you're not swinging the bat well and you're not getting a lot of hits. Good pitches appear to you to be outside, not good pitches. That ball appeared to have the corner. Too high for you, Don?
Too high for me, but we'll take it. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Timlin makes quick work of Abreu. And there's 2 down.
Change up again, getting Abreu. Daisuke got him back in the 1st inning to strike out on a change up. And now Timlin.
A 6-4 Red Sox lead with 2 outs in the 7th. Tying run at the plate in Alex Rodriguez. He was grounded out to 3rd base, walked, and struck out. Swing and a miss.
Left-handers Giambi, Matsui due up. Probably the last hitter for Timlin. Okajima loose of the bullpen, but you got to worry about the guy at the plate right now, and that's A-Rod.
On On the ground, left side. Lowell cuts it off. He'll go for the force out, and it just is in time. Pedroia went up in the air to get it. He comes down to the bag just in time to get Jeter and to end the inning. On to the bottom and on to the 8th. It's 6-4 Red Sox.
For our fuel comes from oil in the ground. A lot of it comes from our people, who year in and year out put so much of their energy into everything they do. So you can be sure that when you put Valero gas into your tank, you're going to get a lot out of it. Valero, the energy to take you anywhere.
Take these to Rogers and Lewis.
Newman's Own Organic Iced Coffee from McDonald's. Now even harder to resist in vanilla, hazelnut, or our new limited time flavor, caramel.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call American Tax Relief for a free consultation. We've helped thousands of Americans settle their tax debt for a fraction of what they owed.
Once we hired American Tax Relief, the IRS stopped contacting us. That was an immediate relief.
And they settled our tax debt for a fraction of what we owed.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, we can help you settle for less, maybe a lot less.
Call 800-294-1563 for your free consultation.
It's striking in appearance. It offers exhilaration. Its fuel efficiency lets you go beyond. Safety is a priority, and dependability has long been synonymous with its name. The Toyota Camry. Exceptional may even be an understatement. Ask someone you know who drives one.
Stay tuned after the game for Granite City Electric Extra Innings Extra with Tom Caron and Dennis Eckersley. You'll get complete post-game reaction from both clubhouses, including the manager's assessment and Terry's take with Tina Savazio, plus a preview of Game 2 of the series between Tim Wakefield and Jeff Constance tomorrow afternoon. It's all after the game in high definition only on NESN. Like Lowell going to his left, Pedroia has to reach up high for this one. Does he come off and back on? Yes, and it's there before the slide into second base by Jeter.
Coco Crisp leading it off here in the top half of the 8th inning, and trying to bunt his way on. Dropped down, but Posada's out quickly. The throw is in time to get Crisp. There's one pitch and one out from the new pitcher, Luis Vizcaino.
Vizcaino making his 14th appearance, 12 innings, 8 hits, 8 earned runs. He has walked 10 in those 12 innings and struck out 5. 2 games against the Red Sox, a couple of runs, inning and 2/3. You know, getting back to that bunt there for a second for Crisp, he made that a close play, and that's not a good bunt. I mean, that bunt just stays about 5 feet from home plate. Posada had to rush it and just gets it by a step. So, you know, Coco, they don't have to be great bunts to get base hits.
Get that kind of speed.
He's got that kind of speed. I mean, the bunt hits he's had this year, they're not perfect location, but he's just beating him out. Now, that one was just too close to home plate, but it still was fairly close to first base.
And one down here in the 8th for Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia's 0 for 3 tonight. He is line to right, fly to right, grounded out to short. Vizcaino, the 4th Yankees pitcher of the night. Sean Henn, the most successful. He went an inning and a third, allowing no hits and no runs. As he got the final out of the 6th, worked the 7th inning. And now Vizcaino on for the 8th. On the hook at the moment, the starter tonight, Andy Pettitte, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, walked 5 and struck out 5. Pettitte coming in with a record of 1-0. And now Posada out to talk to Vizcaino. Vizcaino coming over in a trade with the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is a part of the Randy Johnson deal and cash considerations. January this past offseason, and he signed a one-year deal with the Yankees, avoiding arbitration. His only season with the Diamondbacks last year was 4-6 with a 3.58 ERA. He's appeared in at least 70 games in 4 of the last 5 seasons, and will likely do that with the Yankees. The way things are going. Down the left field line, it is a fair ball headed to the corner for Dustin Pedroia. He's headed for second base, and he's got himself a one-out double.
And one thing that's very obvious about Pedroia, he likes that high pitch, and he'll swing at it a lot. A lot of times he'll pop it up. This time he's able to get it on a line and get it down that left field line for the one-out double. But he chases those high fastballs, don't he?
He sure does. One out in scoring position, and at the top of the order for Julio Lugo. And his first home run, last time up in the 6th inning. Lugo coming into the game, 2 for his last 19. Tonight has been on base 3 times with a single, walk, and a home run. Ball 1-1.
You see a lot of sliders from Vizcaino. At least that's what we saw last weekend at Fenway. Cano playing very tight around second base against Pedroia and receiving a lot of attention from Vizcaino.
Line by the dive of Rodriguez. Pedroia being waved around. He will score on an RBI double for Julio Lugo. The Red Sox take a 7-4 lead on his 3rd hit of the night.
Big night for Julio Lugo. He gets that slider from Vizcaino and goes right down that third base line. A little bit off balance with the swing, hooks it, but by the dive of A-Rod, Lugo with a big night.
So back-to-back doubles for the Red Sox off Vizcaino. And it brings up Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis walking in the 1st inning, homered in the 3rd, a 2-run shot. And a single in the 5th and fly out in the 6th. Outside to Youkilis.
Vizcaino's not exactly a ball of fire out there, is he?
No, he's very slow.
It takes a sweet time.
And now Posada will go out and talk to him.
He has 2 pitches. He has a fastball and a slider.
Having trouble deciding which one he wants to go with.
That gives us time for another promo. Attention all kids 14 and under. Now is the time to sign up for Red Sox Kid Nation presented by Hood. Members get official Red Sox lunch boxes, hats, discounts on tickets, and much more. It's one of the greatest programs in baseball. Red Sox Kid Nation presented by Hood. Visit redsox.com/KidNation or call 888-RED-SOX-6 today.
Lugo bluffing at second base as if he was going, but it is popped up to center field. And Damon there to make the catch for the second out of the inning.
Now will they walk Ortiz with first base open and take their chances with Manny? And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Posada pointing to first base.
Designated hitter, Damon Ortiz.
Now, if he gets confused on these signs, then we've really got a story.
Well, maybe not.
Well, maybe not.
Pointed to first base, but now
I think Posada wanted to walk him.
Yeah. Well, take their chances. This allows more time for them to get on the same page, too. Well, for Joe Torre in the last year of his contract with the Yankees, this has been painful to watch. The last 6 games and the beginning of the season.
Well, let's see if they go to the intentional walk with the count going 2-0.
Maybe not. How about down 3-0?
If you haven't done it by now, why do it? Probably got to walk him anyway.
Manny waiting on deck. Lugo at second base and 2 down. There's a strike. 3-1. We've seen Andy Pettitte, Scott Proctor, Sean Hanna, now Luis Vizcaino. Vizcaino has allowed a run, but has 2 outs in the inning. Giambi, Matsui, and Posada are scheduled to bat in the bottom half of this inning.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Mike Myers loosening in the bullpen.
Myers won a couple of innings of relief. Something you don't see very often. Did that against Toronto. A little loss to the Jays. High strike, and Ortiz very surprised. Ball 4 as Lugo took off to third. He will get there on the walk to David Ortiz, who heads down to first base.
Now, the way he pitched Ortiz, it probably would have been better off just putting him on with 4 pitches. He tried to trick him. Change up on the 3-2 count, ends up walking him, and Lugo goes ahead and steals third base. So now we get a chance to see Vizcaino not be on the same page with Posada maybe 3 or 4 more times in this at bat.
This could be one of those instances where the new rules are supposed to take effect. The pitch in there for a strike to Manny. And time in between pitches.
It's supposed to be with nobody on base, right? 12 seconds with nobody on base once he receives the ball.
Yeah, you get much more.
So you can take 3 days if you want.
You could take a week with somebody at first. And lifted down the right field line. Abreu heading over, but that'll get back into the seats.
Just to give you an idea of the early troubles of the Yankee bullpen and how much they've had to work. Proctor and Vizcaino on a pace for 108 appearances this season. Now, that's not going to happen, but I mean, that's how busy these guys have been in the early going because of poor starting pitching.
Well, your starters only going 6 innings in 20 games. The center field to right at Damon. That one buckled on him, but he made the grab. Red Sox add a run. They take a 7-4 lead to the bottom of the 8th.
What does it take to earn AMCI's best-in-class certification for acceleration? Raw horsepower. The all-new, full-size Toyota Tundra. The truck that's changing it all.
You are our neighbors. You teach. You cheer. You sacrifice. You help those around you. You love your little corner of the world. Here at Extra Mart, we are proud to serve you, and we thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
Visit the new extramart.com and sign up for the Extra Email Club and have a chance to win a PlayStation 3. Club members are the first to learn about great context, incredible sales, receive coupons, and more. Go to extramart.com today.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call American Tax Relief for a free consultation. We've helped thousands of Americans settle their tax debt for a fraction of what they owed.
Once we hired American Tax Relief, the IRS stopped contacting us. That was an immediate relief.
And they settled our tax debt for a fraction of what we owed.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, we can help you settle for less, maybe a lot less.
Call 800-294-1563 for your free consultation.
You know what would be great? Having a DVD player wherever you go. At the Chrysler National Minivan Sale, get a factory-installed rear-seat DVD player at no extra charge. Plus, very well-qualified buyers get 0% financing on J.D. Power & Associates' highest-ranked van in initial quality, Chrysler Town & Country, with 2 rows of stow-and-go seats. Your kids will thank you, and you'll thank us. Discover America's hottest products.
Boston Red Sox baseball on Nesson is brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network.
Great bank.
Coors Light, Verizon, Citgo, and by Southwest Airlines. 7-4 Red Sox on top as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the new pitcher on for the Red Sox, a left-hander, Okajima.
11th appearance for Okajima. He's most recent coming against the Orioles on the 25th pitch and inning. Had 2 strikeouts, and of course, his coming out party was against the Yankees last weekend at Fenway Park. Picked up that save on a night that Papelbon was not available. Pitched in all 3 games against the Yankees. And we take a look back at Friday night in the Celtic greens. And that's the split being a fastball against Kevin Thompson. That's where he picks up the save. A little bow from Papi Ortiz. And back in there again on Saturday to get a strikeout against Giambi for Josh Beckett.
And it is Giambi who will first base in the bottom of the 8th. Timlin working the 7th inning, gave up a hit. No runs, no walks. He struck out a batter. After 6 innings tonight from Daisuke Matsuzaka. Two and 0.
Twelve strikeouts for Okajima in 9 2/3. He has walked 3.
They shift on and through it. Giambi gets a base hit to open up the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Okajima falling behind. Now, you got to remember, his best pitch is that little split change that he throws. So, Giambi knows he's going to get a fastball 2-0, and he hits it hard. Hard line drive for a base hit against the shift. Right through the shift. Okajima is one of those guys that has to operate ahead. You know, his fastball is not overpowering. It's only 87, 88 miles an hour. But if he gets ahead, then he can go to that big curveball he throws and also that split change.
With a leadoff single for Giambi. Hideki Matsui, who was 0 for 2 against his countryman Matsuzaka earlier, now has to deal with Okajima. Back at Okajima. Knocks it down. No play at second, so he fires to first.
Smart play. Take the out. He could have rushed that, tried to go to second base and throw it into center field. Instead, once he bobbled it, dropped it, just take the out at first base this late in the game. You got a 3-1 lead. Get it out.
So now Giambi at second base. And it brings up Jorge Posada, bats from the right side. And they 1 for 3 with an RBI for Posada, now 13 RBIs on the season for the Yankees catcher.
Well, tonight's game really shows you what Francona is thinking about late in the game with his bullpen right now and how he wants to set it up.
Someone in Okajima.
Yeah, exactly right. And the confidence in Okajima to come in prior to Papelbon.
Confidence that really has been won over the last week. And the bridge to Papelbon. You know, we heard so much during spring training about all the possibilities that would replace Papelbon when it was first determined that he would be a starter. As Rivera's up in the pen. And none of the names were Hideki Okajima. We heard everything from Pinheiro to Donnelly to some of the guys who were going to be possible replacements for Papelbon. And it was Okajima who has been in some very big games so far this year for the Red Sox and setting up.
See, there's that split change that he throws, and he threw it in a fastball count. You see the little split with the fingers, and the ball will dip down and away. That's a pitch that they kind of worked on in spring training. I think he threw a straight change. And then they just told him to split those fingers, make it more like a split finger fastball, and he's had great results with it.
Posada sends it foul off to the right.
One more look at that grip. As you can see, the split on the finger. Well, that's not going to work. And then you see the bottom of it kind of fall out. That was some pretty poor drawing there. I was trying to draw 2 fingers split, but it didn't work. They pay money to have me do this, you know.
I know.
Extra money for this illustrator.
Posada lines it. Inside out swing, foul to the right. Sure didn't fracture the bat. Two and two. The count to Jorge Posada. With Giambi at second base. Red Sox on top 7-4.
There it is again, but that time Posada just getting a piece of it to foul it off.
This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Swing and a miss. And he struck him out. Posada's gone. First strikeout for Okajima, 2 down.
And that's the curveball, the over-the-top curveball that he throws. Okajima with the breaking ball. In Japan, they said that was his best pitch. It has been good here for him, but I think that split has been even better for him.
John Farrell, the pitching coach, coming out. They are in preparation of Robinson Cano. Second time for Robinson Cano that he was struck out 3 times in a game. Done on April 10th against Minnesota, and he's done it tonight. All 3 strikeouts, however, against Daisuke Matsuzaka. And 3 of the 7 strikeouts that the Red Sox starter posted tonight. Taking ball 1. Pinch hitter Josh Phelps has come out on deck. He would bat for Mencavich. That's in there for a strike. 1-1. Okajima had a very tough start. He surrendered a home run on the very first pitch that he threw in the major leagues. The Kansas City's John Buck in the 6th inning back on opening day. Third Boston pitcher ever to do so. Towards right center field. Coco Crisp makes the catch. It ends the inning. Okajima, another good inning of relief. We end to the 9th, 7-4 Boston.
Ringside at Foxwoods Resort Casino. Live hard-hitting championship boxing in the Fox Arena Saturday, April 28th. Foxwoods celebrates its 100th boxing match as Juan El Torito Diaz takes on Acelino Popo Freitas in a 12-round WBO-WBA Unification Lightweight World Championship fight. Tickets at the box office or at foxwoods.com. Foxwoods Resort Casino, just off I-95, exit 92 in the Mystic Country region of southeast Connecticut. Foxwoods 100th fight, April 28th. The action is ringside. Foxwoods Resort Casino.
Quikrete Concrete. For over 60 years, it's been used by just about everyone for just about everything. Quikrete, king of the concrete jungle.
Have you seen the coolest crossover to hit the streets? It's the all-new Ford Edge, featuring a class-exclusive Vista roof to see more, MP3 jack that allows you to take your tunes on the road with you, and best-in-class horsepower. Get the all-new Ford Edge. With 0 down, lease an Edge for just $299 a month and get a premium maintenance plan at no extra charge. Only at your local Ford store.
That's Rusty Wallace, amazing driver. He's also my third cousin once removed. That's his brother, Mike Wallace, driver of the Geico Chevrolet. I could see why Geico sponsors Mike. And when he does well, people will think about saving money on car insurance. Whereas if I were driving that car, all they could think about is, there goes Lauren Wallace, greatest thing that ever climbed into a race car. Poor fella. He has no idea.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Stay tuned after the game for W.B. Mason's Extra Innings and Granite City Electric Extra Innings Extra with Tom Caron and Dennis Eckersley. They'll bring you Daisuke Matsuzaka's live post-game press conference plus reaction to Game 1 of this weekend series from both clubhouses. It's all right after the game in high definition on NESN.
7-4 Boston on top as we get to the top half of the 9th inning. Mariano Rivera on for the Yankees.
It's hard to believe that you're in the end of April and Rivera does not have a save yet on the season. Only 7 appearances, a 1-2 record. You see the career games, 75 games against the Red Sox. 35 saves in 46 opportunities, and you know, a lot of it's been asked, well, why do the Red Sox have so much success against Rivera? They see him a lot. They see him probably more than anybody else.
Well, he last pitched on Monday, trying to get him some work here tonight in obviously a non-save situation, and he hasn't had a lot of those anyway, blowing 2 saves on the year. And a walk-off home run, Marco Scudero, the Oakland A's. And of course, the Red Sox getting to him for the other blown save. Drew, Lowell, and Varitek expected here in the ninth. JD looking for his first hit of the night. He's grounded out twice, flied to right, and struck out.
Only team that Rivera has faced more than the Red Sox, the Baltimore Orioles, has 82 appearances against Baltimore. But you got to remember also all those postseason games the Red Sox have played.
Struck him out, and very quick fashion, Drew is gone.
Well, last Friday night at Fenway Park, Rivera in a very tough night. That pitch up in the zone, Varitek. Coco Crisp with a cutter down that first base line. And of course, we had Alex Cora with a bloop base hit in that ball game, also off Rivera with the drawn-in infield.
Mike Lowell looking to extend his hitting streak as he bats here with 1 out in the ninth. That does not have a hit in the game tonight. And right into the 12-game hitting streak coming in. Does have an RBI as he walked. And the bases loaded back in the 5th inning, part of a 3-run 5th for Boston. Inside again, and it's 3-1 now to Lowell. The Red Sox right now 7-3 in a 13 consecutive game stretch against exclusively the American League East. Softly lined into right field, and Lowell extends the hitting streak. Well, after 4 at-bats not getting a hit, Lowell with a base hit here in the top of the 9th inning extends it to 13 straight games.
Drew did have a walk with the bases loaded back in the 5th inning, and what the Red Sox hope is his last at-bat picks up that base hit to go to 13.
Well, last night he extended the hitting streak in his last at-bat and did it in the 8th inning in Baltimore against the Orioles. There's Jason Varitek, who's 0 for 3 with a walk. Well, so far, very good work from the Red Sox bullpen again tonight. Timlin going an inning, allowing no runs. The same for Hideki Okajima. Red Sox relievers have compiled a 1.11 ERA over the last 14 games. And will do nothing to damage that so far tonight. Little throw picked out by Mencavich. It would have been hit for if the inning had continued last inning. Phelps was coming in, but he didn't bat. Mencavich goes back to first. Outside, 2-0. Red Sox with the lowest earned run average in relief in the American League at 2.41 coming into tonight's game. That's the 3rd best mark in the majors behind the Mets and the Padres. And a swing and a miss. And it's 2-1.
That's that famous cut fastball from Rivera. That one really moved quite a bit on Jason Varitek.
into center field, a base hit. And over comes Damon to play it, but it's first and second with one down. Red Sox got something going against Rivera here in the ninth.
Well, you see Rivera not able to be consistent. They wanted to go away with this cut fastball, but it got a lot of home plate. After getting him down and in on one, they try to go outside corner, and Pettitte with the hit up the middle. I would think it'd have to be very tough for Rivera to stay sharp with the limited amount of work that he's had in non-safe situations he's been in. That adrenaline doesn't pump quite as hard in these situations as when he's out there with a 1 or 2 run lead.
It is truly amazing that he has not got a save at this stage of the season. Crisp lines it into right center field, a base hit. Lowell being waved around. The throw goes to second as Pettitte goes to third. The Red Sox take an 8-4 lead.
You know, it's so strange, Don. I mean, Rivera made it look easy against J.D. Drew with a number of low fastballs. And then since that time, Lowell with the base hit, a bad pitch to Pettitte, and now Coco Crisp gets the cut fastball that's out over the plate. So he's just having a lot of trouble consistently finding his spots.
Well, the Red Sox looking for more, now on top by 4 as Dustin Pedroia stands in. He doubled in the 8th inning and scored after this Vizcaino.
He wanted to go. Crisp.
Ooh, almost got him.
He was leaning towards second base, and the longer Rivera held the ball, the more he was leaning and had that weight on his right foot, and then almost stumbled getting back to the bag. Almost got pushed off the bag with the tag.
Pettitte at third, Crisp at first with 1 out. Red Sox adding a run here in the 9th inning.
Good idea. The struggles Rivera has had last April was his highest ERA he'd ever had in April. That was a 3.72. This April, as we stand right now, 8.10.
Ball high, and it's now 2-0. Rivera ended up with a total of 34 saves last year. Highest total of saves in any season at 53 saves back in 2004. That one drops in there for strike 2 and 1. Rivera striking out J.D. Drew to begin the inning. And then a single by Lowell, a single by Pettitte, and a single by Crisp to drive in a run. And it's the Red Sox on top 8, 4 runners at first and third. Another check, and they almost got him again leaning in the wrong direction.
That's almost a gimme for Crisp. You know, I mean, the game's not out of hand. It's only a 4-run lead. And he knows that if he can get a good jump off Rivera, because Rivera's slow to the plate, he can pick up a steal. But Rivera, aware of that, makes a number of throws to first base. Mo's been hanging out with Vizcaíno.
Inside, Pedroia ducking back out of the way. And the next pitch will be the 20th of the inning for Mariano Rivera. As Josh Beckett looks on. Beckett not pitching in the series this time. It'll be Tim Wakefield tomorrow and Julian Tavares on Sunday. Chris Beckett with the victory now, 5-0 on the season. He's able to beat the Orioles, and the second time he's ever faced Baltimore. There goes Crisp. Finally, it's a swing and a miss for Pedroia. The throw is high, and Crisp able to steal second base.
So I was talking about, Don, you know, a lot of closes, most of them you get good jumps on, and it's just a matter of time. Crisp picking the right pitch, and when Mo didn't throw to first base, and there's really no problem at all stealing this base at second. So Coco with a steal tonight picks up his third.
To include Papelbon on that list too, as a guy you can steal on.
Sure.
Infield in all the way around now for the Yankees. And they've one out in the ninth. And it's ball 4 to Pedroia. And to first base. Fourth straight batter to reach. And this will bring, I was going to say Gidry, but it looks like Torrey coming up.
Yeah, he's making a move, and you know, this is not what he had hoped for. He hoped to get Rivera in for a nice little clean inning to maybe get some confidence back. It ended up being a disaster for him, so the questions still continue for him.
So the pitching change. It's an 8-4 Red Sox lead in the top of the ninth inning.
Lexi, tradiciones, pasión, ganar, Green Monster, the impossible dream, yeah, Bambino,
Pecky Sport doesn't work for you.
Climbing the ladder, high cheese, rally cap.
My English getting better.
There is no language barrier on Nessun. We speak the language of Red Sox Nation.
One nation, one network, Nessun.
Dating do's and don'ts.
What I can tell you is,
Good dating tips.
He carries a gun.
That would be big, especially on the first date.
Negative.
Maybe try to make a little eye contact.
I'm just looking for chicks who aren't boring, basically.
Oh my God. I wouldn't probably go much further than that, you know.
All right.
Sox appeal. Do you have it? Log on and show us.
You can see the Sox on the road with packages from Red Sox destinations. Trips to New York, Arizona, San Diego, Baltimore, and Chicago are available now. They include tickets, accommodations, a tour, a reception with a Red Sox player. Call 877-3-GAME on or 617-226-6400 or visit redsox.com/Red Sox destinations today. I think one of those tours are here this weekend, aren't they?
People were talking to me. I didn't hear what you were talking about.
Thanks for listening, Don. Never mind. But the problems continue for Rivera. Third of an inning. 3 hits allowed, a run, 21 pitches for Mariano Rivera. And, of course, Mike Myers coming on for the 14th time this season. 10 innings, 5 hits allowed, a couple of earned runs. He has walked 5 and struck out 4.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't that important.
The moment is gone.
I was just curious if this was a Red Sox destination weekend in New York.
I didn't know the answer anyway, even though I've heard it now.
Okay, just throwing something out there.
1 out. Bases loaded for the Red Sox. And it's strike 1 to Julio Lugo. He's had a very nice night. With 3 hits and a walk, his first home run in the Red Sox uniform.
Well, the excitement that was here to start the game, this crowd has thinned out just a bit.
55,005 here at one point tonight. Most have ducked out.
As we roll on to another Red Sox-Yankee classic of a 4-hour game.
Appelbaum is still throwing, but I think we're more likely to see Pinheiro. You think maybe this will work for Appelbaum?
Well, we'll see. You know, when he gets Papelbon up, he likes to bring him in. But the point is, if the Red Sox continue this and score a few more runs, and I don't think he will.
I think you'd want to save him for the last 2 games of this series. No grounder that is foul.
Now Lugo got a chance to put a real capper on a great night for him already.
Throwing 2 innings in the game last night, very long for him. It's the Toronto Blue Jays. Now brought back into this one as he misses inside. Season high 2 scoreless innings for him. He allowed 3 hits and a walk as part of the loss to the Blue Jays last night. Faced only 1 batter on Tuesday. And that was allowing the grand slam to Carl Crawford and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. The loss against the Red Sox, also one of the losses last weekend. And to the count to Julio Lugo. Red Sox fans are here right now. Yankees fans are having trouble drowning out the chant. Two and two the count. Bases filled with Red Sox here in the ninth. And full count. There's still just 1 out in the inning. And Kevin Youkilis waiting on deck. That 1 out came to the first batter that Mariano Rivera faced. J.D. Drew struck him out since then. 3 straight hits and a walk for the Red Sox. Ball 4, making another walk. And a run comes in from third. Red Sox lead at 9-4. And Pettitte will score.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to read the New York papers tomorrow morning, because this streak that they're in right now has been dreadful, and this pitching has been dreadful.
Here's Kevin Youkilis. There's a strike to Youkilis. At the beginning of the day, the Yankees had lost 6 in a row. And start the season at 8-12. And in last place to begin the day. Tampa Bay, Baltimore. That's a foul off to the right. Well, Red Sox enjoying their earliest and biggest lead since 1995. Top of the division. On the ground right side, ranging is Cano. Will fire to first, and in from third base scoring is Coco Crisp with the 10th run. Red Sox take a 10-4 lead. Another RBI for Youkilis, his third of the night.
Yep, the home run back in the third inning for Youkilis. The drive-in two, and now the little ground ball with the infield back to pick up another RBI. So that's 8 total for him now in the season. And I would imagine that we'll see Papelbon anyway in this game now, even though he did have him up throwing. I think Pinheiro continues to throw down in the Red Sox bullpen.
There's David Ortiz with 2 outs, runners at second and third. It's been a 3-run ninth. Ortiz against Myers, 11 for 49. And 224 in his career with 3 home runs off Mike Myers. Waits on deck. 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. Ortiz, the 8th man to bat. On the ground and through in the left field, a base hit. Pedroia scores. Lugo stopping at third base as the Red Sox grab another run.
Right now, Myers can't get Ortiz out, and that kind of started last year, didn't it, at Fenway Park? And he's a specialist against lefties and just not getting the job done. Crawford got him for that grand slam down in Tampa Bay. Ortiz has had success against him.
That was one of the things that Terry Francona talked about when Myers left the Red Sox and ended up with the Yankees was kind of tough to carry a guy who was just a one batter and out type situation.
Yeah, you compare him to, for example, Okajima. Okajima is a guy that you can pitch against left-handers and right-handers because he has that over-the-top splitter and the curveball. Myers, basically, you know, that submarine-style delivery, which is usually effective against lefties, but
it's first and third now with 2 down. And he has singled back in the first inning. On the ground this time to Jeter. He'll go the easy way to second to end the inning. The Red Sox add 4 runs in the ninth and take an 11-4 lead to the bottom of the ninth.
Have you heard about the benefits of a reverse mortgage? If you're a homeowner, 62 years or older, and would like to supplement your monthly income, a reverse mortgage could be the key to living comfortably in retirement. U.S. government-insured reverse mortgages allow seniors to convert the equity in their home into cash without having to move or make monthly loan payments. We offer a free information kit and video explaining everything you need to know about a reverse mortgage.
Call 800-300-4519.
Follow the curving Irish lanes long enough, and you'll find yourself in the town of Wicklow. And if you arrive on that most special day in Ireland, you'll find the town celebrating their favorite holiday in traditional fashion.
For the past 30 years, we've been delivering F-Series trucks with unbelievable capabilities. Trucks that can haul over 24,000 pounds. Trucks that give you best-in-class payload. Trucks you depend on to get the job done. No wonder F-Series is the undisputed leader. Now get 0% financing for 60 months or up to $3,500 in total rebates.
Yankees' great Sullivan Tire deals.
Stop in at Sullivan Tire now through April 28th and buy 4 select Dunlop tires and get your choice of either a $100 Kobe portable DVD player or a $50 mail-in rebate. And as an extra plus, buy 4 Dunlops at Sullivan Tire and you'll get an added $50 off instantly. So you could save up to $150 in value. But this double deal on Dunlop is only at Sullivan Tire.
For the best tire deals, come to Sullivan Tire. We're always here to get you there.
Time. Red Sox tickets are on sale now, and more than 2.5 million have already been sold. That means they are going fast. But they're still available. Don't get shut out. Call 877 Red Sox 9 or visit redsox.com.
Last half of the 9th inning, it's 11-4. The Red Sox on top, and the new pitcher for Boston, 4th in the 9th. Here's Joel Pinheiro.
10th appearance for Pinheiro. His last outing coming against Toronto on the 24th. 2 innings in that game, 3 hits, allowed no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. 11 career games against the Yankees. 8 of those starts. A 2-3 record.
We're here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Don Orsillo, Jerry Remy, and Tina Cervasio bringing you Boston Red Sox baseball in high definition on NESN. The Red Sox adding on to their lead with 4 runs in the top of the 9th.
No, there is a story behind that in the Bronx thing. A couple of years ago, after the Red Sox won the championship, right, we opened up, didn't we, the following year here in Yankee Stadium?
Right here at Yankee Stadium.
So we were trying to hype that, opening day, the Yankees, and you had to do some promos for it, and they wanted you to say, in the Bronx. And you couldn't quite get the...
Russ Canard, great producer, had done a beautiful tease, of course, last year, finishing it up and going into the next season. And he needed to get into character and really bring the drama to a fever pitch in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
And I just wasn't capturing it. Some 19 tries later, I think we finally got it. I still think he was disappointed with the end result. But Pinheiro strikes out Mencavich.
Mencavich disappointed with that end result, too. In the Bronx. In the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
Number 28, Pedroia.
So 1 away. And we're going to have a pinch hitter for Johnny Damon, Melky Cabrera. And he's going to bat here in the 9th.
It's amazing how bad pitching can just suck the life out of a ball game, doesn't it? I mean, it's, you really, when this ball game started, Pettitte, Daisuke, good first couple of innings, and then all of a sudden Pettitte starts to lose it. On comes the bullpen, and it's so frustrating when you have to play behind those type of performances. It really is. And this man right now is going to be scratching his head saying, how are we going to fix this thing? The thing that impressed me tonight about Matsuzaka is the 6th and 7th. The 5th and 6th. After he gave up those 4 runs on, the 3 walks, then the hits, to bounce back and have back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings and shut him down after that, because it looked like he was losing his cool again for that 1 inning.
Rivera drawing the walk. Well, the Red Sox were hopeful that Daisuke Matsuzaka would bring them many wins against the Yankees. And here tonight, we will likely pick up the 2nd win in 2 tries.
And you know something, Don? I mentioned this in the open, and I really believe this, that I think now that he's got these first few starts out of the way, the first stop, the Fenway home opener, the first Yankee game, the first game at Yankee Stadium. Now I think he can settle down into the season, and there might not be as much surrounding him as maybe there has been for these starts. And I think it's going to be a little bit easier for him.
He's taking care of a lot of those firsts.
Yeah, it's been a lot, on his plate the first month of the season.
Derek Jeter with 3 hits, each on an error. He's been on base 4 times tonight. I wonder, as we are watching this for the first time, because the Yankees have dealt with it with Matsui, the Mariners with Ichiro, wonder if it lessens throughout the year.
I think it will. I really do. Maybe not so much in the first year, but as time goes on. But I think as the year goes on, it will a little bit. mean, for crying out loud, how many pitches can you have of them coming out of a dugout, or walking to the ballpark, or, you know, running in the outfield, or playing catch?
Well, there's got to be interest, because otherwise they wouldn't be doing it.
Oh, there's plenty of interest. There's no question about that.
One tap foul, and it's 2-2.
Now, we have not seen, because our part of the job is over when the game is over, but the press conference that he holds after the game, that's something that TC and Eck have to sit through. I imagine that must take.
You are our neighbors. You teach. You cheer. You sacrifice. You help those around you. You love your little corner of the world. Here at Extra Mart, we are proud to serve you, and we thank you for letting us be a part of your community.
Visit the new extramart.com and sign up for the Extra Email Club and have a chance to win a PlayStation 3. Club members are the first to learn about great context, incredible sales, receive coupons, and more. Go to extramart.com today.
Have you heard about the benefits of a reverse mortgage? If you're a homeowner, 62 years or older, and would like to supplement your monthly income, a reverse mortgage could be the key to living comfortably in retirement. U.S. government-insured reverse mortgages allow seniors to convert the equity in their home into cash without having to move or make monthly loan payments. We offer a free information kit and video explaining everything you need to know about a reverse mortgage.
Call 800-300-4519.
Olympia Sports is your majestic headquarters, featuring the new thermobase technology that insulates while maintaining temperature control. Get it at Olympia Sports. Shop with confidence, satisfaction guaranteed.
Closed captioning for Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work.